Good evening. Yes, I said that with a certain, anyway, we've had to totally break the room, change it all around. I'm feeling very, very uncomfortable. I say that when I look at him because he's been to some places, haven't you? Yes, lately. Anyway, so
are you worried I've got smallpox or something?
No, you just came back with sort of fascist views or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, probably ruined the channel. There we are. So, for those of you who don't know, Winston Smith taxis, Callum from Lotus Eaters, and you've got your own channel, which is
Britannica Politica, yeah.
90,000 subs. So he's doing better than us. And all he does is he goes to foreign countries originally and took the piss, but it's got better. Actually, it hasn't. The first video you went, how many views did you get out of that?
The Afghanistan one?
Yeah.
2.7 million.
Fuck me up and down.
Just got to go and do this from Afghanistan. You'll be right.
Well, quite. And how many places you been now?
Well, the ones I've made videos on, I think, 1, 2, 3, and then I've got a fourth one coming out that's about 2 maybe countries.
I've had a look at that.
So, yeah, I was showing them to be like, is this crap, basically?
Is this boring? I'm like, no. So we're all having a good look at that. So that's to come. So if you haven't subscribed, I'm sure that somebody in the chat will put the link, Brody, or somebody else. We've actually prepared really well. We've got nothing organized, which was good, because this is generally the way I like to do it. However, the word Philip Schofield did sort of raise its ugly head, didn't it?
I don't know how you're not obsessed with this story.
Well, he's fucking wrong, isn't he?
Yeah, but that's amazing.
And just say, Paz has been smashing it every day.
Yes.
There's multiple videos on this.
Paz is on it. That is on the Philip Schofield. We're looking into it. All right. Anyway, yeah, Paz almost was here tonight, but unfortunately couldn't get leave. So he'll be on the next one. So, right. Where'd you start with Philip Schofield?
I suppose explaining who he is. I mean, there might be foreigners watching who have no idea. So he's basically this massive TV presenter. Was it Good Morning? Not the Good Morning Graham.
He started off in the broom cupboard.
He was the broom cupboard with the kids presenter.
You won't remember that, but it's where he introduced Gordon the Gopher.
Gordon the Gopher was a puppet that was next to him, and there was him, and he was all bouncy and happy and lovely, and this fresh-faced fucking kids presenter, which seemed harmless.
The kids presenter in the olden days. What could have
become before?
Who knows?
It's just, yes, long before we had any inclinations of what actually a child presenter was.
I got to admit though, I was taken aback by the actual degenerate side of him. I was not at all surprised when he came out as gay. I was like, got that. But
I felt sorry for the wife.
The other stuff.
But the gay thing is, I mean, it's so obviously the Kevin Spacey situation. Where, for people who don't know, Kevin Spacey was accused of being a nonce, and in response to the accusation, came out and said,
"I'm gay.
I'm a gay man."
Yeah, that's
so
threw every gay man under the bus.
Well, it's not just that. If you say I'm a nonce, I'll just say I'm gay. The shock of that will actually put you off the nonce bit.
As if it means anything, because of course it didn't work for Kevin Spacey, and that was a great moment because you can't just get out of being called a nonce by announcing you're gay.
It's like you're gay, yeah. You're a nonce. No, I'm actually a carpet fitter, but you're still a nonce.
Well, it's obviously, as you said, like throwing all the gays onto the bus. Yeah. It's like, yes, of course I have sex with kids. I'm a gay man. It's like, what?
No.
Sorry, what?
Kevin Spacey had
although there is
horrible
such a thing
childhood,
as chicken, but that's another story, right?
He had a horrible childhood, Kevin Spacey. He had an extremely abusive father, and he sort of, it fucked him up.
But do you think
that's that early?
Yes,
but I don't know about Philip childhood.
But do you think that lays the foundations? Because there's a lot of people that had a fucked up childhood that went on to lead normal lives.
Oh, I was not making excuses for it, but I'm just I can see a difference there. I get the feeling Philip Schofield, I don't know, he just seems like he come from nice place.
Well, his brother's an absolute raging
Yeah,
nudge,
he is
isn't he?
actually.
Well, his brother was convicted of paedophilia.
Mm.
I think it was like 12 counts or something.
Yeah.
And what did he say
Actual
about that?
children. Yeah.
So his I mean, I don't know all the details. I've just been staring at news coming out about this because I can't think of a more
Particularly
interesting story right now.
Disappointed in him.
But
Yeah.
so 2 months ago, in like April, yeah, it was 2 months ago, whatever.
A while ago.
Not my. Once upon a time. So very recently, the story ended, and he gave a statement where he said, "Oh, I no longer have a brother anymore. I have nothing to do with him. Blah blah blah."
No, he's still his
Because
brother.
he's a paedophile, and I have nothing to do with that. But the details in the court case weren't great. I mean, for example, so he's alleged. Well, he's been convicted of engaging in sexual acts with a child, Philip Schofield's brother, right?
Slightly illegal.
And then he says what he did is after the boy left and he realized he might be going to prison, he called up Philip Schofield and invited him round. So Philip drove all the way to his brother's house because he was crying on the phone to him. And then, according to the brother, he then described what he did to this boy. And Philip Schofield was like, "What are you talking about?" And then he went on to describe, just, as you would, the body of the boy to Philip Schofield. And now Philip Schofield's version of events is then he instantly said, "I don't want to hear any more. That's disgusting. Something's wrong with you." But I mean, would your brother ever describe to you the body of some child he's been having? I mean, it's just a really weird thing to do, right?
Yeah.
I'm really I completely repent, but I've got to tell you about it. Just doesn't work like that, does it?
No.
So anyway, so after that conviction and him coming out as gay sometime before, he's obviously got wife and kids, so their lives are devastated. The whole media ignored it. Everyone on the show that he was on, Holly
Had the best years
everyone
out of the
else,
woman, had kids out of the woman,
But
lied to her.
clearly they all know because he came out as like, "Oh, I've got a boyfriend." And then when you run, the calculator, you find out when he met the boyfriend and
Which
it's
meant
underage.
it was years ago, which meant he was shitting on his wife.
10 years old, I think it was
10
when he
years
met
old. I
him.
think he was 10, the boy. Yeah.
And then
Oh.
he says, "Oh, I only had sexual relations with him when it was legal." It's like,
So you groomed him long enough until you could rinse him.
well, mysteriously, he sort of got a job on the show
was a
he
runner.
was working on for
He-
some reason. I don't know
Weirdly,
what
he
favors.
was his gopher. Yeah.
Maybe he just brought a lot of candy to
Was he-
Philip Schofield.
Was he a runner or a mincer?
Physical candy, lawyers. And for that reason, maybe he got the show or something like that. But
Allegedly is always a good word to throw in every now and again.
so all of a sudden, he comes out, says I'm gay, and then this happens, and he gives the statement. And then this is the bit I don't get. Maybe Paz can tell us because why
Paz
all of
doesn't know him personally. I want to clear that up
no,
as well.
the details because clearly Holly knew, clearly Edmund Holmes knew, clearly everyone in show knew.
Eamon Holmes. Yeah.
Eamon Holmes, sorry,
And his wife, Ruth. Yeah.
Every one of the staff,
Ruth.
the production, everyone would have known what was going on. That he was clearly having sex with someone who's like 20
Everybody
years
knew.
younger.
The cameraman, the sound
Exactly,
guy.
right? So what happens in between them on TV being like, "Oh, we're so proud of you for coming out," because they all sat there, and now, I mean, like Edmund, for example, was on Twitter saying that there's more to come out, the big story's coming out. Why didn't they say anything sooner?
Yeah, exactly. That reminds you
'Cause they had to say
it's
it this time.
BBC and
Before
it's
that-
Savile.
Yeah.
I'm
What's
not
happened
saying
in the
if
last week?
Schofield is as bad as Savile, but it's the same thing. People just shut up if you know what's good for you, because in the industry they just seem to really protect child
I understand.
I think they hire people with problems.
child abusers. I mean,
But they're right now protecting more people who are nonces.
yeah,
That's not in question, right? So what has changed in the last month? All of a sudden, Philip's no longer protected.
It's all about the boy, isn't it? He's gonna come out soon, I guess. With his,
He's going to go to the papers.
with his information. He must do, but apparently, according to Paz, there wasn't super injunctions, which is really strange because that was everyone was saying there's super injunctions, and that's kept it quiet. And then the newspapers have been chomping at the bit, waiting for the super injunctions to end, so that they could then get stuck into him. But apparently there wasn't one. I don't know how that's true. I don't know if the chat is saying anything about that.
Well, they're saying that Savile and Schofield killed Jill Dando. I think that's a bit of a stretch.
I don't know if
I
seen
saw
some
that
stuff on
comment
WhatsApp.
quite a lot in a video I made on this a couple of days ago, and I got a lot of comments. But it was, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Can we get up the stuff I sent you on WhatsApp for the audience? I don't know if we can or can't.
Probably not.
Okay. I'm just thinking of visual aids for people can see the difference here. Because I mean, like the photos of when Philip met this boy. I mean, like it's a school photo.
Yeah,
I'm sure you've seen. There's like a class of 30,
Right.
and he's there for I don't know.
I think it
something
was it a drama club or a local sort of
celebrity
amateur
event,
dramatics
right?
kind
Where
of thing.
the celebrity turns up, and,
And I think
do the
Schofield
kids.
is a patron of it, or like, yeah, he's associated with this amateur dramatics group or something like that. But the bit for me that I remember the day that it happened, because my missus was, gosh, because she loves This Morning, and she was like, "Have you heard heard the news. I was like, yeah. And I was thinking, and I was like, this doesn't smell right. Everyone there all saying how wonderful and brave he is. I was thinking, but hang on,
strong and brave.
He's been having an affair with this boy, and this is just now. It's just.
Not
it's
to
just
mention
what
his poor wife.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel sorry for her. I do.
I generally do, because when that happened, normally the wife, the cheated on wife, everyone would rally around them and support them, but instead she had to agree how brave and wonderful her beautiful and brave her cheating husband was, and it must be like she must be seething that she couldn't get. Yeah, I have no idea what she's like.
She would have known as well. I mean, like here we have. This is when he met the boy. This is their first instance of knowing each other, and you can see that it's a boy.
And he's an old man with grey hair, and that is a 10-year-old boy.
That's a man in his 50s, there at least, isn't it? I'd say.
What was the other picture?
Although he was grey when he was 20, I think. But
so this is the boy who's then working, just mysteriously gets a job on the show, and you can see like Holly and everyone must have known him and Philip, and probably seen them. I don't know.
And just for the
flirting or something.
Where's the other picture? Oh, I didn't send it over. I should have done. It's the one of him chasing Home Alone. Never mind.
Yeah, there are a lot of very good memes coming out of
obligations. Yes. So,
I mean, the Schadenfreude, right? This is like it's satisfying to see him now getting it, because he's used
he's been having it a while, hasn't he?
He's used his advantage. He's manipulated people. He's obviously a piece of shit. He got Eamon Holmes and Ruth sacked from, Did
he?
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
He got them sacked. Yeah, they called him out. She complained to the bosses. There's something going on here. I guess with him and this lad, and Philip Schofield's the power. He's
so
the
what's
power
the crap that he had a higher rating, so he said, "Fucking get rid of it."
Yeah.
But then
has Philip Schofield got any information on producers of the program?
I'd imagine
this is where you go. Yeah, that's how people get this. How to
You know the joke was like we're all run by an elite cabal of paedophiles.
Yeah.
Are just the more you read the news, you're like, well,
it's not really a joke.
There might be something about this.
There are an awful lot of elite paedophiles. It just so happens.
It's coincidental, I believe. Yeah.
But anyway, I don't think it's been proven that he is a paedophile. We should say legally, he's suspected.
Allegedly.
Yeah, because
as I say, throw allegedly around quite a bit
because of the age difference. But he's not the first in the media to obviously being convicted of being a paedophile.
No.
I mean, even if the guy was 16 when he first rinsed him, right? How old is Phil Schofield?
It's still wrong. It might not be illegal, but it's wrong.
He would have been in his 50s, wouldn't he, at the time? Because I think he's early 60s now. So he would have been in his 50s.
Imagine a man doing that to a girl.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
16.
It's the double standard. It's always the double standard that goes on in these things.
But he's strong and brave.
We have it. I don't want to go on too much of a tangent, but we've got a naked customer, a woman that just walks around her house naked, where they deliver the groceries to her. I haven't had the pleasure yet. But if it was the other way around, if we had female delivery drivers and it was a bloke naked, police would be round. Boy, you're in a cell. And there is a double standard. But anyway, I don't know. Sorry, that was a bit of a
So,
tangent.
how'd you get a job with yours?
Just I'll get you.
Thank you very much.
I'll have a word with the boss.
So what do you think is going to happen? Because he's making the rounds in making statements now, being like, "Well, I had a relationship. It was strange, but not illegal," which is never a good sign that you have to make that kind of comment.
Do you remember Clinton? I did not have sex with that girl.
Sexual relations, isn't it?
You just done your custody over a dress. She's the only Jewish woman I know that can't get a fucking stain out of a dress. Well, whatever. Anyway, moving on. So, yeah, but it doesn't history have a way of recycling itself? And all of these famous people come out with, I did not, and then it turns out they did, and they go, well, never mind. But they soften the blow over time, they?
The spin, they're probably going to be saying to him, you need to go away for a while. You need to be quiet. You need to be away from the limelight, and then we'll try to reignite your career down the road or something like that. Or I suppose he could accept the sort
of get a job in the church, couldn't he?
The dirty rogue thing and do late night TV or something like that, like the James Whale kind of shows or something like that. You know what I mean?
James Whale. Is he still?
He's very ill, wasn't he? I don't know.
Yeah, so I can't.
But even if we assume that there's nothing illegal has taken place, we all think it's wrong.
It's still minging.
Yeah, like let's say nothing happens, and then as soon as the boy turned 16, that's when they were kissing and holding hands.
And as he presents himself as, like pure and good.
Higher than that.
Yes.
How many people has he fucking run down?
Exactly. How many people
with how great he is and how high he is, and yet they were whatever. Well, they weren't rinsing out fucking
And it looks terrible on Holly as well.
Doesn't look good, does
but
it?
I'm still in
her ass does.
I'm
but
still
the
in
rest
the
of it doesn't.
forgiving her for most things
Just keeping it
stage
real.
at the moment.
I don't actually know what her last name is.
Willoughby.
Yeah,
Or
but
Willabooby.
my dad used to
Yeah.
say Willabooby. So
Because
now
that was
literally all I know is
it
Willabooby.
was it was the
I've
it was
not
the
been brought
bloke.
up to speed on
It was
these
the bloke
names.
with the bandage on his hand. He does the chat show. As someone who, the show that Holly Willoughby used to go on a lot. I was going to say Shooting Stars. I was going to say it's like Shooting Stars, but it wasn't Shooting Stars. But it was a panel show.
At the moment, you lot watch TV. I
And,
don't.
it was,
so I'm
and
so
Holly
fucking far
Willoughby
behind.
was on there, and he called her
She
Holly Willoughby. Is
She's
like
got
that.
her ad.
Someone
Great
please
bun.
say Keith Lemon.
Is that the gin?
Thanks, Loafer.
Yeah, it saved him. It's a close moment, but celebrity juice.
That was it. Celebrity Juice. Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone.
So it was that other story that I tried to talk to you about earlier on that you haven't researched yet. And
What's celebrity juice? Or what?
Oh, is this the women?
What?
I don't. Vabbing.
You did a video
I thought we were talking about perving on women. That's way worse.
Is anybody here heard about vabbing? Anybody in the chat? Just let
This
us
is
know.
real. I don't believe this.
He doesn't believe it.
No.
I believe it.
I
Look,
believe that there are
so
some women.
stupid out there that you could tell them rob your box around your neck and you'll pull a bloke.
Look, Tumblr exists, so of course there's going to be some subset of women who have done what we're about to describe. Because I'm not describing it. You can.
Go on, son.
No, you
go
can.
on. What do you do? How does it work?
No. Well, let Simon take it away.
So apparently, you grab a handful of rat juice, right, and then you sling it around your neck in the effort that the pheromones, right, will turn the bloke on. The smell of your gash is rank, right, and the fact that you're built like some sort of cross-channel ferry doesn't help either. But apparently, I don't know.
Did you just call it rat juice?
Yes.
Yeah, I've not heard that one.
I was going to say, that's not just me that's never.
No, not heard that.
The hairy rat.
He's talking about
Box fluid.
vaginas.
Box fluid.
So are you single at the moment? You're not.
A little bit.
Yeah, I wonder why. Just every time you.
I'm on the lines,
I love your rat, don't I?
Get your rat out. That's what we used to say. What?
How often does that work?
We used to say, get your wound out, get your rat out.
Get your rat out for the lads.
Well, the Axeman got you.
Funnily enough, it was at the end of the night.
Anyway, so as Simon was saying, some women apparently think that would cause a man to be interested.
Do you know what?
In
Well,
for some
somebody said
blokes,
the
they're going to
pheromones.
love it. I've worked with some degenerates, some merchant navy guys that doing pot washing in
Things.
kitchens,
Things.
and they would love that. They'd be like going, "Yeah, the stinkier the better."
some like
They're the
new
same blokes that
BDSM
dare
stuff.
each other to shit in a pint glass, and drink the contents, and they do.
Oh.
No, seriously, I got told about this. I went, and you do
Fuck
this?
off.
No, straight up, right?
Sorry,
It's
the
just-
Navy is
the
daring
squad-
each other
the
through their
squad-
own
well,
shit.
Merchant Navy.
It's just fucking squaddies and merchant Navy, especially. Well, they're fucking longer out of port. But no, the squaddies used to say, all right, boy, take a shit in that glass and fucking drink it. I dare you. And, all right.
Where is this happening? Who are you hearing this from?
Well, from a squaddy, actually, which I was
Who
discussing.
drank the shit? Or took
Actually,
the shit?
he was Air Force, but what they call him, a rock ape. If anybody knows what that is, he was a rock ape. Basically, he used to dig holes and guard the fucking airfield out. Well, they had some sheep come in when they were in Iraq, but these were radioactive sheep, and they had to get rid of them. So they didn't know what to do. They just
Sorry,
started
glowing.
One thing at a time. Sorry. So the merchant navy shits in
You can
pint
see the
glass.
professional
No,
Lotus
just
eater
any-
here, bringing it back. Let's talk about the subject.
Let's get to the point in hand. No,
Let's
it's,
get to the real issues of the
right,
country.
so-
Why are our merchant navy drinking shit?
it wouldn't just be them. It'd be the real Navy. It'd be the Army, the Air Force. Well, they're all just fucking, especially the rock apes.
Is
they're
it
fucking-
their own?
Are you talking shit?
They
This
will
isn't
pop.
real.
They will pop. Look, right. Dan Evans, the man, right?
You're guilty.
Just to throw you under the bus here. Not that you'd be watching this, but he was one that agreed with it. He said, "Yeah." He said, "Fucking, we do anything for a dare." He used to play Drop That Man.
Sorry. So Dan Evans is who you're alleging told you
Well,
that
this one in particular, but yeah, there are other squaddies.
Me and the lads-
You ask the squaddies here, right? Anybody who's a squaddie, they have done some
Do you
really,
eat grim?
really, really fucking grim things for a dare.
What is drop that man? Is that like happy slapping or something?
No, it's not quite happy.
Right.
Well, it's not very happy at all.
I don't think happy slapping.
What they
was
do is
either.
they pick a bloke and say, "I'll drop that man in 3."
All right.
okay.
Three punches. I'll drop that man in 2. And he says, "I'll drop that man in 1." And everybody goes, "Drop that man." He's got to go over and knock him out in 1 punch. I wasn't in the forces. I was told about this, and I went, "Why would you do that?" But anyway, never mind.
But you didn't think, is this true?
No, because he dared me to do it.
Okay.
Anyway, never mind.
I don't believe that the Navy's eating each other's shit. I
no,
mean,
not each other's, their own. They put their own shit in a glass and drink out of it.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
I had a mate, Brian Hill, that used to put a fucking contents of an ashtray in front of me in a pint glass and drink the cunt.
I'd rather do that.
Well, I would as well. But this was the same bloke that bought 2 kebabs when he was wankered, ate one, went to bed with the other, and then took it to work the next morning. Nice lad. Fucking monster.
Okay, yeah, that's a bit weird. Like, I can believe that a man would take a kebab.
Why would you reheat that kebab after it's been out in the open for 17 hours?
Well, not all of us know what food poisoning is.
He didn't either. He's a fucking monster.
Exactly right. But I reckon he knows.
Go shit in that glass and eat it. All right, just say. Just drink
What are we losing numbers here or not?
Drastically. No, actually, we're gaining. We're gaining. This is worrying.
I wonder whether
I came in here for an interesting debate, not this.
Well, you're the one that brought it up. I'm saying it's not happening.
Well, I'm afraid to say, unless you were actually out with a load of squaddies, nowadays you wouldn't do that. They say, I dare you to fucking probably wrongly pronoun that one or whatever. I mean, it's a different fucking world now.
Yeah, things have only gotten worse. Back in the day, people used to eat shit.
Yeah, glass. No, you didn't eat it. You drank around it. Were you some sort of animal?
Hang on.
Whereas my generation, too, was
you don't
washing
eat
our hands.
the shit. You drink around the shit.
What, there'd be like beer and
it was a pint glass, right, of a lager. You
muddy lager.
Is that what they call it?
Well,
why do I come to?
You love it.
It would be muddy, like in
that Chinese you had earlier on.
Yeah. Oh.
Hey, mind you, I'm not the one. Nice picture. Right. Yes. Let's move on past.
Yeah. Yes.
So anyway, right.
Perhaps we should ask Callum about his Afghanistan or something.
What about Afghanistan?
Well, someone's got some new merch.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Model it, baby. There we are. Turn around.
Turn around.
Give us a flip. There we are. There we are. Literally, I just bring some gifts because I thought it'd be fun.
What did you do to my car?
I did nothing. Well, I did one. Okay. So Simon's got a pickup truck, and so does every terrorist in the world. So I thought we'd make him look the part, and I got him a nice Taliban flag that now sits in his
dash,
so everyone can see it, including
through
the officers.
Town and my village with a fucking Taliban.
Yeah, so he was perving on all the girls, being like, "Cool, look at her tits," and I'm just slipping it out. Just like, there we are.
They were nice tits.
Okay.
They were wearing bikini tops in Western.
And this time of year, it's amazing. We don't have more accidents.
I think that's a great example of what you see versus what she sees. Like you're looking out and she's in a bikini. She looks back and you're a weirdo.
Beach whale girl.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, they're going.
I don't care what she thinks. It's not about her enjoyment anyway, is it?
Still single? Still
single?
A
little bit, yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I don't want to keep up and on about that. I think I've got the lines, but there you go. Squaddies are notoriously deviant. There you go.
I don't disagree that they're probably bumming each other or whatever else, but they're not eating each other's turds.
Hang on, no, not each other's. They're not a monster, right? They get the pint glass, they shit in their own pint glass, and they drink the beer around it.
No, that doesn't happen.
Well, can you imagine if you had the runs? How would you segregate?
I wouldn't. This isn't happening. I don't believe it.
He's so.
I unfortunately do believe it.
Yes.
He's
so naive. Bless him.
Because there is a thing, like if you're in a group of lads and the more boisterous it gets, and I guess if you are in the forces, and especially if you're seeing action.
Do you know what soggy biscuits are?
Yeah, yes, I know
you do.
Yeah, but that makes sense because like a group of gay guys could get together.
They're the straight men.
And their girlfriends are the ones.
And the girlfriend and the unlucky girlfriend.
I'm sorry. If you're in a room of 20 men jacking off on a biscuit, and one of you, none of you are straight. You're all gay.
No. You're only gay when your cocks touch.
Okay.
Why have we stopped?
Don't cross the streams.
Yeah. Something's happened.
Oh, it's the stream collapse.
I have no idea.
Oh yeah, we're frozen.
Normally.
Oh, this happens every week.
No, normally we just crash properly.
Let's see.
Yeah, the mouse is frozen.
Yeah. Is there any comments still coming through? Like if people can still see us?
Probably crashed.
Oh, this happens every time.
Well, no, it doesn't. Usually the power goes off.
situation.
No, less.
Are we back? Are we back?
Yeah, we're back. So basically, I changed.
Have we had any comments saying we're back?
I don't know.
Can we have ones, maybe, guys, if
mean,
we're back?
Putin's joined the chat, apparently.
Putin, nice.
Yeah, see him?
Win 11, pain in the ass. I changed the power pack. 170 quid well spent, do you think? Anyway, it's clearly not the power pack now, so we now know it's something else.
What were we talking about? And we don't know.
Well, we were finished up with the shit, weren't we? We'd moved on.
I think we've moved on.
I think we've established that bollocks.
No.
No.
Okay.
I think.
Oh, Mr. Naive here. They wouldn't do that, would they? Yes. They
I think.
fucking would.
I was just sort of saying. I think the more extreme your lifestyle is,
It's like
and if you are, especially on a front line or something like that, from time to time,
black humor.
you are likely just to go, yeah.
These were the people that
I could
can't
be dead tomorrow.
Pootash in.
See, that's funny. Like, I can see the comedy element.
Unless you've been tashed.
Yeah, of course, but I can't see the comedy element to drinking your own feces.
No, it's not quite. That's just
it's just
you. I
how
suppose it's
far
you
will
showing.
you go for a dare?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
it's absolutely rank. It's disgusting, and don't do it, people.
No, don't do this.
Oh, like anyone was going to, and it was like,
Yeah,
oh,
well,
listen,
people
this
are
is a
running
good
out.
idea
They were
tomorrow.
running out now to go and do it. See?
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we move on to something less weird?
Can we? What, like the fucking computer being fucked? I don't get it. What do you reckon now?
I think any subject is less weird than that, to be honest with you. So,
well, we could talk about we could talk about politics being your man. What did he say? Well, it wasn't your man, but what did he say?
So this is from the News Punch site, which is I don't know how reliable it is, but I'm guessing this guy's Greek by the sound of his name. What was his name? Hang on a minute. Just entertain yourselves. Kalin Goragescu. Actually, no, that could be Romanian, couldn't it?
It's not Welsh.
Goragescu. Anyway, he worked in the UN for a long, long time, and he basically came out and said the highest level of politics, finance, and the entertainment industry, a shadowy cabal of paedophiles, use their power to hide sickening crimes they commit against children. And no surprises there from anyone. But
it's not a hard sell, is it?
No. This bit is interesting, though. He says the cabal planned to unleash the COVID pandemic in 2016, but had to move it to 2020 because of Trump winning the election. So he did kind of put the cat amongst the pigeons, Trump. Assuming this is true, we'll just take it with a pinch of salt. So that really screwed up their plans. But it's also meant that the food and water crisis that was planned for 2020 has now been pushed back to 2025. Yeah, I believe it. Although we do seem to be having a bit of a food crisis now, don't we?
I stand behind Alec Baldwin. Well, you wouldn't want to stand in front of the gun, would you?
But yeah.
But
exactly. I think that's probably what their comment was going. That's very good. Yes.
Did he get off in the end?
Yeah, he's got off. Yeah, they
Seriously?
just decided. Yeah, you're a famous Hollywood celebrity that says all the right
Shoot
things.
some more. Go for it.
You're
a fucking accident.
Get back to filming. Can you imagine being on the set next time he's got the gun and they go.
The judge is literally.
Can you give that to that one over there?
Has anyone here that's pissed you off lately?
Do you know I'm psychic and I can hear Michael Ryan from the grave saying, "I wish I was a celeb."
I don't know who Michael Ryan is.
Shot up Hungerford, did he?
Oh right, him. Right, yeah. Oh yeah, yes, he did. Yes,
yes.
It's Murder in the Evening.
There, a little bit, yeah. Going to go shoot up the town.
Mm.
Yeah. So anyway, that was what got. Yeah. See, you should be annoyed with him because if it wasn't for him, we'd still be allowed to have Kalashnikovs.
Oh yeah, I'm all for bringing back the guns.
Of course you are.
So
I want the right to have a gun.
Yeah.
Well, you do.
I don't know if I trust myself though, because when I've had a couple of beers,
you shoot yourself.
I'm a bit of a dick, you know.
Yeah, but you're not going to kill anyone.
No, but you might get the gun out and go, "Oh, it's good."
Blow off the old fucking jewels or something.
What's deserved though? I mean, that's just.
I'd do my Robert De Niro, in the mirror. You talking to me?
No, but do you fiddle with the kitchen knives already or not?
Where you were going with
no, I don't actually. No,
you don't sit in the kitchen knife, kitchen drawer.
No, he's already told you what he does
slice a knife with this. Like you don't sit there doing that. So.
No, it's true. Actually, I don't do that.
Can you shut up mine? They're fucking blunt as fuck.
You should have told me I'd have brought my whetstone.
What, so we can fiddle with it or
steady. Right,
it's a stone for something nice.
So,
yeah,
should we even dare opening up the calls?
I think so. Unless you want to ask Callum more about his travels.
Tell us more about your travels.
Anything?
What do you want to know?
Really messed up.
What was the most scariest point on your travels?
Yeah, was there a point where your sphincter was going? I don't know if I'm coming home.
Give me a pint glass.
So, traveling in the Balkans, I've done that a few times. I made a video about Serbia, and the one that's coming up is about Kosovo and Transnistria. not a worry in the world. Like, it's, Transnistria is on the border of Ukraine. There is a threat of invasion. That's why it's on the war map. Kosovo, I was with Serbs in an Albanian area, so that was
bit of a mix up, really.
But honestly, all of that, never any fear. Afghanistan and Russia, yeah.
Hang on, Russia?
Yeah.
Russia's bad.
No. I had some fears when I was there. So Afghanistan, the problem was pedophiles. So 2 times we ran into people who were not very, well, they were friendly, just the wrong kind of friendly.
Really friendly.
And
friendly.
you're quite
you look
pretty,
quite young,
aren't you?
don't you?
They'll be going, oh, yes.
Right, I'm not bragging,
Yeah.
but when I came back from Afghanistan, I had to go through Turkey, and I had to go out and then come back in with my bag. And this guy at the checkpoint opens up my...
How much for the girl?
Well, he opens up my passport, looks at me and goes...
Give me your wife.
He opens up the passport, looks at me and goes, take out your contacts. Oh, sorry, what?
Sorry, my eyes are naturally black.
He was like, you need to take out your contacts.
Well, because they weren't expecting people to have blue eyes.
Yeah, I was like, I don't have any contacts in.
Yeah.
And he went, what? I said, no contacts.
You're beautiful blue
I
eyes.
I'm not making up any
Tall
of this.
camel.
He went, oh, and then like prodded the fucking guy next to him,
Real eyes.
grabbed him over and went, look at his eyes. I'm like, all right, am I getting on the plane or what? What's going on
Not
here?
now, sweet pea. We search you.
But that's fine.
You'll have a
that's-
merry
We
New Year
need
by us.
we need to check everything now. Yes.
That wasn't the scary
Are
one.
you
What accent
tight?
I'm doing.
Nothing.
The scary one that happened twice in Afghanistan. So the first time, there's checkpoints every few hundred meters. Usually the Taliban just go, bugger off. It's hot. I'm tired. And occasionally they'll also get out of the car, so I have to look like I'm doing a job. And the first time, it was me and Miles and our driver. They take us out, and then they're patting us down and stuff. And I started speaking Pashto to one guy. Like I was just
How
saying,
did that go?
it was fine. Like he seemed to understand me because he responded in Pashto as well. And then I went,
Is this a Afghanistan dialect? Is it?
it's their language,
Right.
the Taliban language. And then I realized I've run out of Pashto. I don't know what he said in response either.
Right.
So then I just went, yeah, sorry, mate. English, maybe? And then he got all excited, pointed at this one guy. English. And this guy comes over and he speaks perfect English. It's a Canadian who's joined the Taliban. So we're like, okay, get out of the car. We're trying to interview this guy, take pictures with him. He's not having any of it, but it was very friendly. Gave us some warnings. He was like, why haven't you
A
got your passport?
Canadian. That
Was he
usually
a ginger,
apologizes for
or
everything.
was he a ethnically?
He
sort
was
of Arab?
Canadian. He was Arab, but he's
Right, yeah. Did he
Yeah.
apologize at all for anything?
Yeah, he was like,
Oh, so he is Canadian.
he was like, I'm sorry for you guys getting pulled over, but there are some dangerous people out there, said the Taliban member. Want to keep you safe. But he wasn't the problem. The problem was the really old guys by the side who were all there muttering away, stroking
They
their
were
beards.
fancying.
They've all stood up. They're all looking at me and
They were
Miles.
thinking, oh yeah.
And the driver goes, well, we need to go. Oh, okay.
How much
Right.
for the pretty one?
So, oh, sorry. Okay, well, can we take the number? We got the Canadian guy's number. Got in the car. And he says to us, they were all talking about how beautiful you both were.
Oh my god.
Because you can occasionally see one, and it's not bring your son to work day, but they've all brought their son
child.
to work day.
They're twinkles.
Yeah. And that happened there. So that was pretty
There's such a
gross.
confused
Now, is it
group of
true
people.
about the virgins, right? Now, apparently, if you go and you actually make it into whatever they call heaven, they get them
70.
virgins,
Yeah.
right? But they're not actually all female, are they?
I don't know.
I've heard that there's
Have to
some
go to
boys there.
paradise.
I am heard it was an equal balance of twinkles and females.
But I did have some Arabs in the comments saying, why did you take it that way? They were just being polite. In our culture, it's okay to say men are beautiful. It doesn't mean you're gay.
Is it?
Which makes some sense because we asked some of the
Very
guys.
flattering. It's the only flattering I would get.
Well, we went and asked some guys. We were like, is this
He's
true?"
not too badly wrinkled.
when we were walking around? And they said to us, well, yeah, because gays don't exist. So like a gay person to them is like a paedophile to us. You would never assume someone was a paedophile unless they were
So
actually
when he's
suspect.
bumming you in the ass, he's not actually gay.
No, but if I'm there being
he's
like,
just
Simon,
very
you have beautiful
affectionate.
skin and lovely hands. Like I'm obviously
Well, you've already complained about my skin today and said I look like a fucking leper.
yeah. So if I was a liar and said you look great, like that
I'm
wouldn't be.
fucking wounded. I am. He's been mean all day. He said, "What is wrong with your skin?"
but-
I'm
Alright,
like,
show him your arm. You've got driver's
What?
arm. You said this.
Look, twat.
That arm's fine. This one's been bad.
I actually can't see unless I try and mangle
Is there
myself.
quite a big difference
That's-
in the
that's-
thickness
that-
of your arm, your right arm, compared to your left
Well,
arm?
of course, I'm single. Right, now that is what's a fucking obvious statement. Right, that is the
I mean, it's a
dark
different.
arm,
It's a different shade.
and that is the
Yeah, it's
Not near the-
Hold them both up.
Fuck off.
like that.
right. Okay.
Yeah, that one's out the window.
There you go.
Look at it. Look at the difference.
Yeah,
There's not a
What?
small difference.
one's out the window. Yeah.
Fucking twat. Look, I'm
Anyway,
gonna get
my
a left-hand
point-
drive truck. We'll be fine.
My point was that
Yes.
apparently in the Muslim world, if a man's complimenting you and being like overly friendly,
Very nice cock.
it's not necessarily the case that he's into you, because of course to them the idea of someone being gay is just utterly foreign.
So they're just very flattering.
It would be like you talking about.
So to qualify as gay, that means you actually want to have a committed relationship.
Well, you hang
but
out.
sticking your dick in a little boy is not gay.
Kissing, holding hands. You have feelings for men. That's what.
But they do it. But they do it.
But
let's
let's say I had a dog and you were stroking the dog and saying how cute he is and everything. I'm not thinking you want to have sex with my dog.
That's true. Yes.
It's like that, where the idea of someone having sex like that, what that doesn't exist.
But they do have sex
what
with boys.
Saying
though,
is
don't
their
they?
comments were more innocent.
So that was the argument to counter my claims about these guys, right? And that might have been the case. Who knows? But it happened again. And the way it happened again was we were in the zoo and these guys come up. And by the way, in the South, in Kandahar, the joke is that they all love boys. They're all pedophiles who are homosexual, right? So these guys come up, blah, blah, blah. We tell the guides,
and if you didn't have a beard, you'd look about 17, wouldn't you?
Which means you're free. So we said to the guy, crack a joke about people in Kandahar. Tell them, oh, we don't like people from Kandahar because they're all boy lovers. Because we learned that's a common joke. It's in Kabul. It's in the north.
You really are playing with fire, aren't you?
Yeah. So the guide looks at us and goes,
Don't do that.
Doesn't say anything. Turns to them, blah, 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 blah back. He goes, they're from Kandahar.
That's all.
Oh, don't crack the joke then.
All right. Yeah.
Leave that one.
Yeah. And then those guys.
I've already done it. Shit.
They started taking, they were very friendly again. And then we were trying to make excuses to leave and they weren't interested in us leaving. And then they started taking pictures of us and they're like putting their arms around us like that, take the pictures, which in our culture is normal, lads, take a picture, right? No. So
it's not normal there. Right.
Yeah, our guide there was giving us the nudge, being like,
get out of
these
it.
guys.
You're now their twinkle.
They don't think you're just good looking. These guys are from Kandahar.
They think you're Stoke-on-Trent.
That was the most disgusting I've ever felt.
Yeah.
Well, I actually felt like
you felt used
because these guys are the government essentially, the Taliban. Yeah. If they wanted to take us somewhere, what were you going to cry about it? So yeah,
it's a bit like. I'm assuming in Afghanistan, if you're a man of money, you can have up to 4 wives. Is that the limit?
Why? Why?
No, but they do.
How much problem does the average human being have with one partner?
But if you assume that there's a roughly 50-50 split in the genders, in sex, roughly as many women as there are men. And if men with money have got 4 wives, there's an awful lot of men that don't get anywhere near a woman.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
So they're going to
tell me about that.
You'd have no idea.
Any ladies out there? We know you've got a lot of fans, lady fans out there. So any ladies there, this is your point to woo Simon. He's lonely.
Don't look at me like that. You've been abroad, mate. I don't know what's happened to you. But he never used to look at me like that.
I think because is it Colombia or South America? They shag goats and donkeys, don't they?
Did you say allegedly?
No, I didn't. No, they do it.
Who does?
In Colombia, the young men shag animals because they're so strictly Catholic that you are not allowed to go near a young woman because the father and the older brother will kill you.
Fuck would you? To be honest, it's more of a rural thing the world over, right? If we're honest, because servicemen would say.
Have you been in Bridgewater?
But they do, yeah.
Well, Wales,
cousin,
Iraq.
If you shout "cousin" in Bridgewater, everybody looks around, right? And there is some historical facts to this. Do you know what? So you know the Pitchfork Rebellion. Right.
I've heard of it. I don't remember the details.
Anyway, what happened was some king. We had a king in London, and this other king decided.
The king of London.
And this, yes, and he can't. Anyway, right. So this.
We can talk about him as well.
He's not very well at the moment. Unlucky. So, did you have a jab? And moving on. So, this other king came over from France who wanted to take the throne. So he ambled about the West for quite a while, literally just fucking dotting around trying to make an army up. The other king got to hear about this and made his way down to fight him. And they did it on the Battle of Sedgemoor. Anyway, if the lads who were trying to go after the king to take his position had thought about what they're doing, they could have won, apparently. But they didn't. Anyway, so he then went after anybody of fighting age men. So that was anything from about 15 up to about 70 odd and fucking executed the lot, right? So there weren't very many males left. And apparently what was left was used amongst the family, if you like. So cousin is quite the word to say, and and it's a bit rough down there. I remember I was fucking stood outside a chip shop. Some bird's got a cax around her ankles. I said, you got your pants around your ankles? She went, oh, is he finished? Anyway,
if she'd have come, she'd have dropped her chips, wouldn't she?
She would have done, yeah. I didn't want her to do that because it was probably the only proper food she's had since the hay. Anyway, rough as fuck, really is.
I got a prostitute story for you.
You got a prostitute story?
Yeah.
From your travels?
Oh.
No, so I used to live in Reading, and right next to where I used to live is a McDonald's in the centre of Reading on Oxford Road. And you'd occasionally
Prostitutes got to eat, you know.
Well, you'd see a lot of women just sort of standing around the corners there. And you're like, what's that about? And then I learned that's also where you buy heroin. There was a murder in someone's house. Someone stabbed to death, literally right opposite. So great
Spicy place.
But I go to McDonald's very regularly, and a friend of mine would as well. And he told me the story. He's in his van, worker, van in front of him in the drive-thru, thinking away about how he's going to do this and that. And then some woman gets out of the van in front and walks off, and he goes, it's a bit weird. She like adjusts her underwear as she's getting out. Well,
she just worked in the van.
Went back to thinking about what he was going to do later today, and he just what? Looks over at his window. It's the same woman offering sex for money. Right. And he just thought, that guy is literally just finished in you, and within 2 minutes, you're at the next van.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how hot it is?
Well, she's a professional.
You stick your hand near it, it'd be giving off heat like a nose cone.
She'd just be going, oh, Dad. All right,
all I'm smelling, love, is him. At the moment, unless I'm gay, I'm smelling Harry Monk. Right?
That's the next rumor you should start. The real trick, ladies, is to
just dab Harry Monk around you. Well, if somebody else fancies you, so should I, obviously.
I don't know why YouTube doesn't promote this channel more.
I can't say it myself. Anyway, it's a wholesome, it's a wholesome, knowledgeable channel. I mean, if you want to learn stuff,
laugh while you learn.
Yeah, sing along.
Do you know what? It sticks in more. I will remember.
What have we learned?
What about shit in a glass?
The Navy men.
You attract men over in Afghanistan, right?
I'm at a family barbecue tomorrow. I'll be able to share all these stories.
You're going to be telling your wife, if you really want me to fancy you, rub some of my.
Love, dab your buttons around it. Go on, fucking flange out, innit? I mean, what's the matter with you? I know the heat's getting to it. Well, we all like fish, but anyway. So, shall we actually look?
It's those crisps, scampy fries.
Oh dear God!
You remember them?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
tiny little packet. Yeah.
Well, yeah. She smells like a trawler. I mean, scrubbed down, but happy days. Oh, would this be a good time to put a link to the?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. Do we really?
Yes.
We need some very knowledgeable callers to.
No, what I'm scared is someone's going to call up and continue the conversation.
Yes, of course they are.
There's a fair chance.
I mean, you're hoping that I've actually got the technology right that is actually linked with that. Probably not. Rex Sniffer. Right, and there we are. Fuck me, it works. Good evening, the sniffing line. Can I help?
Hello, Rev. Hello, Winston, and hello, Callum.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Is this my Welsh friend?
Pardon?
Are you the Welsh one?
I find that grossly insulting.
Yeah, he's not Welsh.
Don't tell me. You're the Gloucester side of the border, are you?
I'm Anglo-Irish that just happens to be stuck in the Mexico of Britain.
Mexico of Britain?
Wales.
Wales.
Right, so you're just surrounded by the people who have sex with sheep. You're not one of them.
No, no. We were never infected by the Romans.
Never got past foreplay.
We kept our own language.
What? No kissing?
We've got Mark Drayford. Well, let's move on past that, shall we? Hey, Mark Drayford has blamed that those kids being killed by the fact that they were tearaways and actually ran out in front of a fucking bus. They blame that. He's blamed that on the British. Can you believe that?
I don't know.
I'm surprised he didn't blame it on white supremacy.
Yeah, socialism for the. I tell you, if there was socialism, that wouldn't have happened. Do you know why?
Well, buses
because
wouldn't be
no
running.
one could afford e-scooters.
Fucking right. That was where I was going, you bastard. Yeah, basically. Yeah. So, what have you got for us, Callum? You don't have to get bored and go and play on your phone.
No, I'm trying to bring up because you guys are talking about those two kids that died in the scooter, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
What I was trying to bring up was some footage from when I was in school. Two girls in the year above me decided to kidnap a bus and then drove it into a wall, and they filmed the whole thing. It's on YouTube somewhere. I just
picture for you. Anyway, carry on. Yeah. Carry on, Mr. Caller, sir. Got a picture for you here.
Well, I just wanted to call Callum about whether he's been to Saudi Arabia or not yet.
He's looking forward to it.
I did actually have an idea for a trip there.
Oh,
so there's a
little trip into the desert. Is it for a barbecue and a beer? Because that's the only place they ever actually have a barbecue and a beer.
They don't
Doha.
They don't have a beer, do they?
They do in the desert. All the rich Arabs
Take
I know.
advice, don't I went there nearly 30 years ago as an 11-year-old, and I nearly died.
And he
3
came back a
times in my-
42-year-old.
How did you nearly die?
Oh, first time, some rich boy engineer by the name of Osama bin Laden
Oh, right, yeah.
decided to send one of his lackeys in a van to drive into the American army base in the capital.
I remember that. He blew the fuck out of it, didn't they? He's still there.
Yeah, so that was interesting. When we heard the explosion, we thought that the boiler had blown up. Turned out half the city away, it was one of bin Laden's cronies, but we didn't know it was bin Laden at the time.
Wow.
What was that when bin Laden was in his infancy, as they like? What, he just left the CIA?
Yeah, he was in his difficult teenage years.
He was just being problematic. He was just expressing himself. Wasn't he from an incredibly rich family?
Well, yeah.
That's still about.
I think they didn't. Their family, they got a lot of contracts.
Did they make a lot of money
construction
out of the
contracts.
CIA?
They
I
got
think
the best contract.
Clearing up New York, wasn't it? After a plane flew into a building.
Did you realise, right? The bloke who bought the Twin Towers realised that every floor had to be all the asbestos come out of it, which was between 150 and 300 grand. But apparently, if you fly a plane into it, it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, excellent.
Just saying.
Yeah, didn't they get? Is that right? Have I got that
Well,
right?
we haven't got to do this tonight.
Anyway.
We've got a caller on here. So
Yeah, sorry, cool. Yeah, we've got kids there with you. So that was, you said there was more than one occasion where you nearly died?
Yeah.
In
The
Saudi?
second time, nearly died in a car crash because there's no such thing as the highway code in Saudi Arabia, even though it's supposedly a dry country.
It's
Is
like-
that why they didn't let women drive for a while?
Yeah.
And they
because
still
men were
crashed.
too men
So that
behind the
puts that in
wheel.
bed, doesn't it?
Is it like, was it basically like the Dodgems, but without the big rubbery bumpers on them?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
And then the
Mind
third
you, China's
time,
not much better, is it?
then the third time, I nearly fell down a ravine taking a family photo.
I'm starting to get the feeling he's slightly accident prone. You nearly bumped into a bomb, right? And then you fall down a ravine.
Yeah, I just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm one of those types.
I know one of those.
I hope not to be the.
I used to be one of those on a Friday night.
But I don't know. I mean, maybe you can advise me then about whether or not my idea is a good one. So Lawrence of Arabia did a whole lot of sabotage throughout Saudi Arabia, Jordan against the Turks, and of course, one of the trains he blew up, went off the tracks, and it doesn't rain, so it's not rusted, it's not disappeared. There's this perfectly preserved, essentially, train crash in the middle of the desert.
They haven't cleared it up. They just left it.
Why would you?
Messy.
Middle of the desert,
Yeah.
50 degrees, 100-ton train or whatever it is.
Wow.
No one's going to move that.
No.
So it's still there. The rail line's still there. So I wanted to go and find it and then photograph it and, I don't know, check what's in it. Maybe steal a bit off it. Because it's got like these, on the side of trains, you have like Great Western Rail or whatever carved into it.
Right.
Take that home.
Yeah, logo, a
Yeah.
badge. Yeah.
Right. Is anybody having a problem with the comments? Because Nathan said he is. So let me know.
I would suggest don't dick about too much in Saudi Arabia.
No.
Well, I think it's perfectly legal. I mean, I'm
Oh,
sort
dear.
of prospect.
No, yeah.
See what I told you? It's just a fucking nutter. Goes to somewhere and pokes the bear.
Well, I'm not doing anything anti-Islamic.
I know. Just some. Yeah.
Going over there looking pretty in front of them. He's a very good looking boy.
Well, that's the crime.
Yeah.
Get some
blue
dark,
eyes.
Get
I
some
like that. Very
contacts.
nice.
Put a bit of
Soft
do
skin.
a bit of brown face. Yeah.
I don't know if that's better or worse.
Yeah, but if you do decide to go, now might be better than later because Saudi have got a manpower shortage. They're short of public executioners.
Oh, well, there you are. Then.
Well, I could do
There's
with
a
a new
job.
job.
Got a hammer?
Do they use the crane, or is that the is that Iran?
That's Iran.
It's Iran.
They-
How do
they
they?
Been
prefer
done.
the scimitar.
What do they do? They behead? Do they in Saudi or?
Yeah.
Yeah, just lop the head off.
Or
If I had a
crucify.
hammer, a hammer in the morning.
Yeah, I mean it's quick, efficient, isn't it? I suppose just
Tell you what, if we went to Afghanistan, I could be your pimp.
Yeah, I'm not willing to do that. That's strange.
You're just always mean, aren't you?
Always pushing down your business ideas.
I can make a lot of coin out of you.
I'm
He's very
definitely
good.
I'm
Have you
definitely
tried-
not going.
Are we dealing drugs instead? I think that might be easier.
Why would you? It's like selling sand to an Arab, isn't it? Dealing drugs. They've got all the drugs they need over
No,
there.
I meant here, but
Oh no, we don't need any here.
just
You and your water.
phone.
Do you want a beer?
Not yet.
Fine. So,
Yeah.
stream and chat all good. Cheers, bro. Just checking. So, well, what have we learned today? That you're accident prone and I can't pimp out you. That's
But would you have any advice for anyone traveling to Saudi Arabia?
he's deadly serious because he is going to go.
My advice is you'd be better off visiting North Korea instead.
That is also on the list.
Oh, fuck me up and down.
I mean, say what you will about the Kim family, but they won't crucify you.
Yeah.
They won't behead you.
Well, that's good to know.
No, you just disappear.
But they
Diplomatically
do
not
have a
answering that.
chemical weapons program, so they may decide to test some of their nerve agents on you instead.
Where is it, Japan? Is it room 5 something or whatever it was, where they used to do vivisection on live people?
I heard the one where they would freeze somebody's arm, so they'd have them in a room,
And then
and the arm would be through it, and they'd freeze it and shatter it just to see what happens.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked. But no, the High Emperor of Japan back during the Second World War was interested in medicine, and he used to go to this place and watch them open people up without anesthetic and do certain things to them. It was pretty fucked.
Sick. What was the other one? They used to use bamboo, didn't they? They put somebody over because it grows so quickly. They'd tie somebody up over it, and the bamboo would grow into them.
Yeah, because you got fast growing bamboo that does literally a foot in a day.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty fucking.
It's got
sick.
hurt, hasn't it?
It's kind of smart.
Yeah, that's more than the prostate exam.
That's the colonoscopy gone and then some.
Could you use that as a wake-up clock?
It
What,
would wake you up.
What, a foot?
No.
I mean,
Under your
two mils,
Well,
and
you
I'm
won't
awake.
put it on snooze, will you?
Well, that's what I mean.
2 millimeters, and
Just
you
another inch and I'll get up.
I'm
Fuck
But
that.
I mean, everyone's got that problem. They just can't be bothered and snooze, throw it away, or whatever.
Well, but an inch will make your mind up.
But if you have some bamboo growing into you, I mean, you've got to wake up.
No, I
you-
bet there's lazy people. Do you know what? I woke up with over a foot and a half
mean,
in me this morning.
If you were seriously shit faced, you might just be having a drink.
Woke
Yeah,
up, there was
it's
bamboo
okay.
out of my mouth. God, I shouldn't drink like that. I really shouldn't.
Yeah.
Fuck it, a meter. A fucking meter.
A meter a day.
Mate, that's savage. And they used to strap these people down. Do you remember that torture device, which is basically just a triangle? What they do is they'd sit the person over it and then they weight their legs and it would split them.
Oh,
I've looked into these things. I was bored.
and it's strange. We went from like this
Shit in a
medieval
glass.
period where the death penalty wasn't just death; it was the most horrible death that they could possibly put you through, keep you alive for as long as possible in agony for everyone to watch.
Yes.
And now we've gone to the point where we just, you get a rancid paedophile and he's we'll let you out at some stage.
Minimum
And we're
security.
so sorry to keep you in
There's-
prison. It's really bad,
like a tennis court in
Yeah.
the back.
mad.
Well, they used to have the pear, didn't they?
Oh, the pear.
Oh.
As in, are we talking about the fruit here?
No.
Oh.
Oh, gosh.
So the pear could be put into wherever and expanded.
Ah,
So it was put into the mouth of a liar, or it was put into an orifice
orifice.
and expanded.
Oh.
So I was recently in Transnistria, as I mentioned, and
I can't believe we're talking about this.
this is the pair because in the
That's the one.
in the castle in Bender, which is the first city you get
You
to.
shove a pear in a bender.
So in Bender, you
Oh,
have the
it
castle there.
opens up.
Well,
Yeah,
I
you screw it and it splays out and splits them open.
I don't know how well that'll come up on the
Not at all.
stream there. People will have to look it up in their own time. But what's great is they have like a little torture museum of how we used to torture
Mm.
people and whatnot. But the way they demonstrate the pair in the photo isn't
Right into the main vent.
of a lady.
Right.
Up
But the
Main
thing is,
Street.
That's
she
more like
every woman I showed that to in the town.
People are
there-
thinking,
she's happy.
I mean, it looks a bit kink.com
I
rather
mean,
than a.
Well, why have they got bondage
I-
all over the tits?
I think that's just Ron
I'm glad you're not- Don't
DeSantis.
show that. I get
As a-
banned, you fucker.
I think Ron DeSantis has just banned that from a school in Miami.
Yeah, it's Probably.
So other devices, like what they did to
What was that? Have you seen the one? Sorry, where they blow smoke up the arse? Have you seen this one? It's a cure for drowning. This was so they thought that
what?
So basically, if somebody drowned, and this was in England, I think Victorian
So
time or
they
something
drowned,
like that,
so
and they had like bellows, but there was a kit, I think, where you had to create some smoke, and then the bellows would be full of smoke, and then they would fill the rectum.
We didn't use it for very long
with
because people
smoke.
realised
But-
maybe it doesn't cure drowning.
But it wakes people up. They might have just drowned.
What is that like the same theory of how do you find out if she's a witch?
You drown her. Yeah.
Fuck,
yeah.
that worked, doesn't it? They're all witches. No, they're not.
Does she take up the arse? Which?
Sorry, I ruined your. Probably.
Fucking hell.
Witches.
So anyway, yeah, hung, drawn, quartered. That was quite a nice little touch, wasn't it? Who invented that? Was it the British? Because
I think it was very popular.
yeah, there were many did it, didn't they? Have you heard about the Iron Maiden?
Is this the cage with spikes in it, and you went inside, or a barrel or
Yeah.
something?
Oh, well,
And
there was this one bloke.
No.
That what he decided to do is he made a model of an animal. I think it was made out of brass or something like that. And what they do is they'd stick you in it, and the only way you could breathe is through this tube. Then they'd stick a fire underneath it.
Oh no, it's not what I was.
Well, the
thinking.
guy who went to demonstrate it, they chucked him in it and burnt him alive in it, and you could hear the screaming, which made it sound like the actual cattle was mooing, but no, he was burning. So that's a nice little touch too.
It's a bit morbid.
Yeah, should we move on?
Yeah.
The brazen bull. See, they all know it. Gibbeting as well. Gibbeting was brilliant.
Let's stay on medieval
Fucking
torture.
stay there.
Right.
I think was it gibbeting where they had a cage where you could put a person in, alive or dead, and then you'd hang them above somewhere very public so that everybody could see said person as a result.
And they'd be there till they rotted and fell apart or
the
something.
crows have come to
I've
pick
got
their
another
eyes
pornographic
out.
photo
Yeah,
of
this
that.
one.
That one?
Yeah, again, she's nude.
I tell you, this torture museum was a bit sexual.
I think
It was always some nude woman.
Yeah, that was very discomforting because the arms
Well,
went up behind them.
I suppose
Yeah,
if you
well,
think about it, if you're the sort of person that was inclined to actually take part in doing torture to
I
somebody,
think you had to
you're
enjoy your work.
probably a psychopath. So
It's
That's
not
the
just
one.
me, right? Like
That's-
all of them look a bit weird.
But that's the
Yeah.
triangle I told
It's-
you about.
Yeah.
there's people going, I want to do that.
There are people out there that
But-
probably do.
Slave
My
collars
my safe word is
cages. And...
You saved all
my
these
safe word
pictures,
is
that's the
lotus
one.
eaters.
Yes, I'm leaving now.
I mean, you would take photos because you'd be like, "Are you serious?" I mean, it just looks like not what it's advertised.
Yeah, it's
as.
like everybody thought that people were waiting in the rack. It was snapping their bones, but it was actually, I think, the tendons that were cracking.
what's going on there.
Um,
We can't show you this because it's just
let me have a quick look. And
it's
I'll
technically
decide.
pornographic, but
Oh right,
it's
No,
basically a series of ladies
It's-
who are being tortured in the photographs.
what
but-
they're doing is
they
they're-
don't look
they're
too bothered by
shattering.
it.
They're shattering this part of the leg.
Okay, well, I think that's
So it's like a massive thumb screw that goes down on the legs and shatters the legs.
just her thumbs actually.
Is it?
This
No,
one.
it's thumb screws then, wasn't it?
This torture was used. Blah blah blah.
Regular size thumb screws.
The naked prisoner was.
Well, it have to be
Seated
naked
on
to
the
have your
chair.
thumbs dealt with, don't you?
She's not naked in the photo, so that's a bit weird.
No, so it's lies. Anyway, caller.
Yeah, oh yeah, sorry. Done it again.
Done it again.
Done it again. Are you still there, mate? Are you still
Yeah,
there?
I'm still here.
Sorry about this, love. Is
You
that-
can say hello. I'm still here.
Yeah, you can butt in and say, fuck it, I can't see your pictures, shut up. Anyway, so what else is happening at the moment in your neck of the woods that you want to talk about?
Well, it's pretty quiet at the moment. Drakeford's being Drakeford, making a complete prat of himself.
He is
More
indeed a
migrants
fucking
being
embarrassment.
shoveled into local hotels, and it's just decaying, destruction, and all the worst parts of the Bible happening all at once.
So Wales isn't somewhere you'd want to relocate to at the moment, then?
He's
No,
in Wales.
no.
Listen
No, but
to
I
him.
mean, if you weren't in Wales, you're saying, yeah, don't come. Yeah.
Yeah, don't come.
All
Find
right.
somewhere else like Iceland or
Iceland,
somewhere, somewhere, or one of the islands off the coast of Scotland.
Oh yeah,
Norway.
the Hebrides, lovely there, beautiful.
Always windy. And flies.
Yeah.
They get a lot.
Oh yeah,
In the summer, they get loads of flies,
I
yeah.
enjoy Callum's content. I'm unfamiliar, sadly, with Winston, but
Best
Yeah, I
kept
went
secret
to
on YouTube.
I went to university with a friend of Carl's wife.
So why don't we do that so they
All
can
right.
see your face? I just realised it's just got this fucking camera angle across there. Camera? Oh, he's been drinking.
And they're saying, cover it back up, quick.
No, they like your face.
I don't know.
Yeah. So
So,
go on.
no, sorry, you were saying Carl, as in Carl Benjamin's wife or something. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, friend of Carl's wife.
I don't know anybody
No,
like that. No,
he knows.
I was
somebody.
hoping there was going to be a weird story to that.
Yeah,
but-
is there something?
there was
good?
nothing. Nothing. You can go back and point the finger and go, Carl, is this any truth?
I thought
in
you were
this?"
feeding me dirt.
Yeah, you go back and wind him up.
Oh,
His wet t-shirt competition images or something from the
Nothing.
90s, you know.
It's all very
Yeah.
clean and reasonable.
I was watching one of your videos on Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, what an ironic title to call a video game, considering what's happened recently. And yeah, what Sega did Carl's parents get him?
I don't know, to be honest. I wasn't part of that video.
Sega or Fake?
Because I'll tell you something now.
Did you say Sega as in
Everyone-
the games console?
Everyone goes on about how bloody brilliant the Sega Dreamcast was.
Right.
And yeah, it was a good console, but it pales into insignificance with the Sega Mega Drive. And you had people saying that, oh, Carl had a Sega. That's the most based thing he's ever had. No, you're only truly based if you buy this HD Mega Drive clone called the Analog Mega SG, because you can do so many bloody things with that. And that is a truly based games console.
I
Not like this
had a 16K, mate.
PS5
All right, we
that
loaded up with the
brings down
tape.
You look at it,
I have. Anyone talks about gaming, it's not a conversation for me because I
Chess.
don't do it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Play
well, that's-
solitaire.
I had a 60.
bit.
Well, my brother had a 16K that we used to try and load up a tape, and then it would go make all this noise, go on for ages, and all of a sudden break, and that was it. It didn't work.
I didn't think those were real. And then I went to the Computing Museum in Swindon. We should take you, actually. It's £2 to enter. Nothing. All the people in there are autistic that run it. Fabulous.
Dripping.
And then they've got every computer you can think of, and they all work. And
Do
they've
you
all got
remember the
games
Commodore
on.
64?
No, of course I don't. But I
Yeah,
went in.
just me.
I found the thing you're talking about. I didn't think that was real. My
Right,
dad
there
would
was a
describe it to me.
16K and the
that you had to
48K.
put a tape in and
Oh, yeah.
wait 20 minutes.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
I just thought it was broken.
It made that fax noise.
Yeah. So I put it in, followed the instruction. I was like, clearly this is just a broken piece of shit. Like, how did?
Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah, I came back after playing with
Next
other
thing,
stuff.
you
I'm
got
like,
Jet
there's a
Set
game on
Willy.
it.
Or you got
Yeah,
Manic
you-
Miner.
My mate had one, yeah, it's something like that. And you put the tape on and you go, right, well, we'll go downstairs, have a sandwich, and then when we
Come
come
back up,
back.
should be
What was the
loaded,
point?
be
Why
loaded.
did you bother? Why didn't you just go and play football?
Because you had nothing otherwise.
Well, we did do
Well,
all
there were
those
people
things.
that weren't sporting.
We did do all those things as well, but I suppose.
I went
there's
out and
something
played on my
different.
bike. My brother was one of these who wanted to play on this fucking joystick thing, shooting fucking whatever.
Where my mate lived had that. Round the corner from his house, there was an alleyway, and there was usually a bag full of dirty magazines.
Rot.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, no, we'd rather go out, play dens, jump bikes, look for porn mags.
What legend?
Normal stuff.
What legend did that? Okay, I know there's going to be some young lads that is going to find
They'll
this
need
bag
this.
of filthy smutty
So
porn.
you'd be literally looking at it going, God, which hole does it go in? It's just, you knew nothing. You were a kid. But you used to look at the boobs and go, fucking hell, look at them.
So I'm not old enough for the finding porn mags in the woods era.
Yeah, it was.
How did that work? Was it like a communal thing? People would just throw
I
it
think so. I think
There'd
it was
always
sort of
been an
understood.
attempted fire.
You leave them there, you know,
and all the men of the town could come and use it when they.
No, no,
lads
men.
probably. It's boys,
You would get somebody who'd nick somebody's stash, they'd dump them there, and then everybody would go there. Do you know there's a porn mag up the quarry? Really? Well, I'd like fuck. Go and have a look.
Who's dumping porn mags though? Because it's not that.
someone that's
interesting.
done with it, I suppose. Someone that's bored with it. You
Do you
know,
know what?
But it's not the most.
No, what's
weird
really
thing to be
upsetting
caught
is
with.
when you can't get a page open, you don't know why.
Yeah, I've heard that.
there would see the thing is everyone's young lads now are spoiled rotten because
Yeah,
they've
'cause
just
you
got
can
a
just
phone
go on,
there or
click 'em.
computer there, click, and you just like
Yeah, they use
literally
our
anything-
imagination
anything you want to see. But the old day, it was a magazine just with
and your
photographs.
imagination.
And on the other side of the photographs, there was an article about something.
A story that was so unbelievable.
Because I bought a page off my brother. I bought a page. He sold me a page for 25p, and on one side was
Fucking
adverts.
tight cunt.
I know.
Do you remember the readers' wives? You used to look at them and something you think, yeah, and others you think, why have you sent in a picture of her?
She's got sausage.
But
tits,
now
yeah.
I'd have looked at her and gone, she's all right.
Yeah.
So my brother also introduced me to pornography. He didn't charge. Instead, he just did it to freak me out. So there's two instances I'm going to tell you about. So first one is
How old were you? We need to know.
I don't know off the top of my head.
20.
Must have been young teen
Okay.
or something. Anyway, but
25.
you know when Bluetooth became a thing on phones?
Yes.
People sharing videos and
Yeah.
whatnot. Anyway, he turns around and shows me one video of a woman using a gear lever. And I just could not comprehend what the hell was going on.
Where is it going?
Where do you think?
Up a kazoo.
No, but you were thinking, where is that going?
I just thought she was just...
She doesn't know how to drive.
No, because I couldn't
She's
really...
never
Not got the
passed
hang of
test.
it.
I couldn't really understand what she was doing. So I just saw a woman moaning on his phone. And I just thought, why am I looking at that? She's
Well,
just one of
she's
those...
accidentally
I-
fallen on that gear stick. and
I
she's
was
in
about
pain.
6 and I saw a mag of one of these most, literally, she was like the bee's knees of porn.
Sorry,
Right.
I did do this
And-
conversation. Sorry.
Thank you,
everybody.
mate. Yeah, there was this shiny thing,
Oh,
right? Thing. No more details needed here. Right? And I saw it from
Sorry, what thing do you mean?
thing.
Can you tell us a bit about the thing?
I can tell you it was plastic.
Okay.
I think it was plastic, right? But it looked chrome. That's good enough. Anyway, I saw it at that depth, and that depth. And I was like, and my parents came down and saw that I'd found this mag. And my dad just goes, well, he's not gay. That was it.
as a relief.
I was like, well, I suppose we should be happy about that, should we?
I think my mum every now and again she'd like get them from because I had like my own bathroom like that, and she'd fight and she'd bring them back from the bathroom and put them in on my bed. I'd be like, oh, mum found them. Okay, whoops.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
My mother, right? She was quite sarcastic.
Did your mum ever come back with some gay magazines just to plant them and see if you...
No,
kept
she
those?
definitely didn't want to
Take
have
the
a.
blue pill or the red pill.
Yeah.
Well, my brother used to have because next to the bed, because there was the radiator by the window, the bed was up against it, so they left a gap up that side, and you knew that was where the porn was stashed. So I root through to see if any new magazines had showed up.
Right.
So I better have a peruse of this.
Yes.
Obviously for the stories.
Yes. Good articles.
The amount of work that goes into seeing porn in the olden days, still, it doesn't
Look,
sound real to me.
You would not believe how much effort went in knocking one out, right? Not being caught, not getting caught nicking somebody's magazine, and obviously the effort, the mental thought that went into it. You're still here, aren't you, Caller?
Caller, did you ever go into
Oh,
a
for fuck.
did you ever go into a corner shop and go through the process of actually buying a magazine? Because it's one of the most embarrassing things you could ever do in your life.
Oh God!
Not those magazines.
No.
No, I never had
Never
interest
did.
in
Is your
those.
wife in the room? Is that...
Well done, good answer, diplomatic, well said.
Because I've had that moment when you're there and you
No.
want to get it and you're like going, oh, no, I can't.
I've been in once to buy one. I
Yeah.
felt so seedy.
Yeah.
Bro,
Sorry, caller. Yeah.
I went to somebody that looked
yeah,
like they should have been
I
selling
can't
sweets.
I can't wait for the asteroid to hit and wipe us all out.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. It would make life a lot simpler, wouldn't it? If we weren't here.
Yeah.
We just vaporise.
There are things more disgusting that have scarred my mind than even this conversation. For example, everyone's favourite virtue signaller, Ian Lee, writing in a video games magazine before he
Different
came
what
out
you're
as
used to.
bi about how he'd like to have sexual relations with a Mega Drive.
What?
All right.
Sorry, start again. Hang on.
Is there somewhere?
He had sexual relationships
there a-
with the Mega Drive.
Is there a cavity in the
No,
Mega Drive?
he
or-
wrote
Plug the cunt in, aren't you?
He wrote a 500-word article in 2019-2020 about wanting to have sexual relations with a Sega Mega Drive.
Oh, wanting to. He hadn't actually done it. Right.
Well,
That we know
how
of.
long would it take you to clear
Okay,
out the
this-
drive after that?
This gives me a question because you guys have enlightened me to the effort and art form that was finding pornography
yeah.
in ye olden
And the
times.
embarrassment, the humiliation. And,
Yeah. To be honest, I can sympathise with that.
Yeah.
Even buying condoms is a bit weird for me,
Mm.
having to do that. But then to sit there and, a young lady there and you're like, I just want
By the
that
way, in
for-
the old days, you used to buy a condom to knock one out, and it was called a posh wank.
Posh, right, yeah.
That's just silly.
Well, it's
But-
convenient and tidy.
But I got a more
Well, most
weird
people
question.
bought socks.
Now, there's this joke on the internet, which is that the internet's changed everything because once upon a time, if you had a really weird sexual fetish, people would tell you you're weird and you'd stop it.
Mm.
Whereas now, if you want to have sex with toasters, you'll probably find some subreddit where they'll be like, yeah, of course, I'll have sex with this
Well,
toaster and that
The
toaster.
best
and
way
be...
to get the result.
A
you need.
community of people who will be egging you on about it, and
I
then
like
be-
to stick it in a blender.
this is how you end up with furries being a common thing, right?
Now, furries we need to talk about.
So-
Not that we've got any experience. Oh, I need to clear that up.
Caller, just check. You're not a furry, are you? Are you still there, caller?
Yeah, and I'm not a furry.
Not a furry.
Alright, good.
We're just checking.
But how did it
let's
exist?
just ask the caller what he understands about a furry. Tell us what you know about furries.
We have to go down the furry route.
We have to go down the furry route now. We're on it.
Well, the closest I am to anything like that is I'm a dry Thatcherite.
A dry.
I don't want to know what that is. I don't.
What,
This
so
is-
you're good at fucking fitting out like 1,800 bungalows with a new lid? What?
And
I missed.
as for
Can I ask my
furries,
question?
totally degenerate. No time for furries.
Okay, good. Well, my question is,
Okay.
how did it used to work before the internet then? If someone had a weird fetish, like would they just be utterly ostracized from
Yeah.
society?
There would be certain clubs. So on these magazines that we used to see, there would be a digest of different types of clubs. You'd write into them, you become a member, and they'd send you out pamphlets.
God, that's terrible.
I know you couldn't just knock one out. You had to wait weeks. Honestly, that was the affectionate blue ball.
By the way, I said dry Thatcherite, not gay
No,
Thatcherite.
dry.
Mate, nobody assumed anything here, but if you want to admit anything,
I
that's entirely your-
I don't know what a dry Thatcherite is.
I want to know.
Well, that's what they described Tories when Thatcher was in charge. You were
Well,
either
the wets or dry.
or dry.
I remember wet
I'm
and
a
dry.
dry.
It was a sandpaper,
I
but
always think of wet workers like what gangster, assassins do. Oh, did you do?
I
you
did, and
It's-
it was quality.
It's your stream and you'll fart if you want to.
Oh, that's quite a bad one, actually.
You
I'm really
wonder-
sorry about
you
that.
wonder why I
lads.
don't come down here
I'm
regularly.
not coming back again. Really? Have you done an air biscuit? Oh, Jesus Christ. Intermission. Dude, have we got some intermission music there?
Oh, that's bad. Yeah, get a window open. Oh, fucking
But the
Callum.
thing is, he cocked his legs to do it.
Well, I didn't want to drill it into the seat, did I? Do you know what I mean? You're not supposed to be an animal, you know.
So I don't understand what the dry bit is. So what's a
Right.
dry Thatcherite and what's a wet Thatcherite?
Right, Thatcher described half of a cabinet as the wet because
Oh,
they
right.
were absolute pussies. They were
Right.
useless, right? When she went into government, one of hers, I think it might have been.
It's quite nice, actually.
It's not. It's quite a
It's
fruity
right,
one, isn't
yeah,
it? You know
yeah,
what I mean?
it's-
It's got some bouquet back. What's the matter with you? Hey, leave Spike alone as well.
I think you've had Chinese food.
No, that was before the Chinese. Yeah, that's rot.
So
Anyway,
a dry
so
Thatcherite is
basically-
not a wet.
But one of the
Right,
one of
not
the
a
cabinet
win.
said, Margaret, it's our job to continue the decline of Great Britain. You know,
We're managing the
wind up
decline,
affairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she went, you what? She couldn't believe it. And I believe that was one of the it was not heard. I wanted to say heard. It's definitely not heard. Is that better for you?
Healy. I'm trying to remember. There was Heseltine, Healy. I'm trying to remember.
Could have been Healy.
Healy's the one with the wicked eye.
Oh no, one Healy. Healy was stout.
Right.
Stout fellow.
Stout fellow.
Yes. So anyway, yeah. So the wets were generally half the cabinet. So when she went into a cabinet meeting, she dictated because she was the only cock in the room. That probably didn't come out right. But anyway, and the rest of them just took what she was saying. Very few.
Well, they were
stood
just
up.
planning which young boy they were going to have
Nonce
fun
that
with.
night. Yes, quite frankly, yes,
Yeah.
because she had Leon. Was it Leon Britton
Yeah,
around?
Britain, yeah, he was.
He
Yeah.
was a wrong one. You know that, do you?
Who?
Leon Britton.
No.
Right. Get a picture. He was.
Oh, you see the picture? You go, oh yeah.
It's disgusting. 1 minute, because I can't text.
Is this from one of your magazines?
Leon. You ruined it. No, Leon Britton. No.
Just type it in, you
Look,
lazy bastard.
He look.
Leon Britton, Baron Britton of Spenethorne, PC, QC, DL was a British Conservative Party.
I'm raging nonce. So anyway, it's true. It was.
There you go. Dry Thatcherite.
Do you know what?
I remember that.
When I got an awkward hard on, I used to think about two things: either Thatcher or Mo Molam.
I don't get awkward ones now. I get one. It's like, hey,
I
Mo
did.
Molam.
Mo Molam would
Right.
calm any fucking legendary
Yeah.
fucking hard on down in seconds. We don't want to get caught with an awkward moment. Oh, great, we've got the windows open, so all the fucking neighbours are hearing me now.
Oh, I wonder where that happened.
Anyway, mistakes were made
Mm.
again. So
So-
anyway,
Are we going to discuss erection suppressants now, or
I don't know. I mean, you pick yours. Diane Abbott used to seem like a safe bet.
Diane Abbott would do it. Yeah.
But Diane Abbott in a day was actually quite a good-looking lady.
That she just wasn't as minging as she is now.
Right. I would say that was one picture that I saw of her that would have made her mildly passable.
Oh, that's an endorsement. There's one photo of you that exists somewhere that
Let
makes you
me
look
tell you,
slightly good.
When,
I think nowadays
when
it
you
would be
are
Lizzo
17
for
years
me.
old, you could knock one out over a lettuce. Almost anything is sexual. Literally. Honestly, it was fucking terrible.
This would have been quite interesting.
Well, she won.
So life is better now. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I've got plants, haven't I?
What, to whack off to, or
Well, he looks harassed, doesn't he?
oh, for God's sake?
Poor old Dave.
Dave.
Anyway, caller, what do you think of the show so far?
This has been probably the most intense call he's actually made to this show so far, I think, ain't it, mate?
I always enjoy the show, and I hope I can do my bit to make it
I think you've
entertaining.
literally livened it up. No, Ed. No salad at Revs for me.
Somebody thinks there's ever salad here. Are you kidding?
Oh, fuck you know.
There'll be no salad here.
There'll be no dressings. I'll make the dressing. Yes.
Yeah, well, I better get off now to make way for other callers.
What, and then get your counselling on as quickly as possible after that little.
Before I go, Schofield will be Epsteined by the end of the summer. Ollie Willoughby will be on OnlyFans.
He's been offered a bloody job at BBC. You know that, don't you?
I might sign up for Holly Willoughby's OnlyFans. Oh, Jesus.
That's the problem.
Yeah, he will be on BBC.
She's
ever
so hot.
leave your Sega Mega Drive unattended in the presence of Ian Lee.
No, definitely not. Or giving
I'll
condoms.
speak to you all again. Thanks, Callum. Thanks, Red. Thanks, Winston.
Honor and a
Cheers, mate.
pleasure, mate.
All right.
See you then.
Bye.
Next time we need to plan subjects.
Well, I think we've done quite well, haven't we?
Well, we sort of did. And then
We've just
basically
dragged through every. No, listen, right. This is a story about the truth, right? Fridge and microwave.
Why is your microwave calling you?
Fridge and microwave?
It's a
This
chat.
is a guy we got a fridge and microwave for by the channel. Hello, how you doing?
Hello, Si.
I
mate,
hope
how
you've
are
been
you?
listening. Have you got any comments to add to
Well, you
any of
might
that
wanna
mess?
turn your
It's the
Or you could just change the subject up. That'd be welcome.
what have you been cooking today? What's cooking good looking?
I've done bread pudding for tomorrow.
Nice. Bread and butter pudding, yeah, like the one with the
Yes, bread and butter pudding, and I go and start my job tomorrow. You know where?
Congrats.
I told you about.
Well done.
Well done, mate.
Apart from that, the guy was saying about the computers. Do you remember the Sinclair computer?
Yeah,
Well, my nan still got one. It
I
still
remember
works.
there was the Commodore, the Sinclair. The
Commodore,
Sinclair was
yeah.
a Sinclair. Well, the Spectrum Sinclair Spectrum.
Was that the bloke that invented the weird bike?
Yeah,
Go
that's
I
the
believe
one, mate,
he
yes,
was
so,
the one that
yeah,
made the
alright.
three-wheeler. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That was a few
Your,
quid.
your mate was talking about Afghanistan. The Rock Apes is actually RAF regiment, actually.
Yeah, rock apes are the ones that guard they basically dig holes on the outskirts of an airfield and make sure that no incoming.
I was thinking that somebody doing
That's it.
Gibraltar.
And they also defend the
Rock
place as well.
Anyway,
Totally different to what the Air Force is.
he was over there in the second Iraq effort, and the first Iraq effort, there was alleged to be areas that were slightly radioactive, and these sheep were meant to be radioactive. And he was told to get rid of these sheep quietly. This sheep, well, one particular sheep that came on. He was like, how do I get rid of it? I don't know. So they tied a rope around it, put it onto the back of the tow bar, and dragged it across the desert at 50 mile an hour.
Nice and quiet.
That's like not the way I would have done it.
It was quieter than shooting the cunt, so apparently that was the way.
Shaun the Sheep's final way.
This is the same guy that would shit in a point, right?
To be honest, that would be an epic ending to Shaun the Sheep. He gets airdropped to Iraq.
That was
It's funny because if he really were to send him to a place, which he really would do, I suggest the man go Saudi Arabia, miss, and go to either Israel or go to Belize.
Israel, they
Israel,
speak
Belize.
X amount of different languages, X amount of different. Because at the moment, YouTube are pushing Israel like fuck to go on holiday. You tired, dear?
I get the adverts too.
Yeah.
Tel Aviv
send-
and Jerusalem.
Pakora.
Oh, yes,
Have you got any
that's
Pakora?
Oh, is
all
that
right,
that
Pakora.
really annoying
Yeah.
woman doing the weird dancing?
I didn't see
Oh,
that part.
it's just like I can't wait to skip. It's like
Unbearable.
Skip.
I got nothing against Israel, but just go away. Like those people are making me anti-Semitic.
The
those adverts.
nightlife is great. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
If you want
Where
a
a
good
rabbi,
holiday,
a
send it to-
priest, and it's not a joke. Fuck, I've heard that too much.
If he wants a good holiday, send him to Belize.
Belize. Why Belize?
What happens there?
Oh, it's a lovely place, Belize.
I
It's
think
the
you
most
might.
sixth violent country in the world. But
Right.
apart from that, it's got more snakes than you can shake a candle at. It's about the size of Wales.
Fuck that then.
I mean, you're not selling it to me.
No.
Miles came
Well,
to me.
if you look,
How hot?
have you ever been, when we were there in the early 80s, there's a place called Cancun.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, heard of that.
Yeah, when you were, in my days, when we were there, they were building it. Just after the Falklands War, we went to Belize.
So out of one nightmare into another.
Is Belize a newly formed country or something like that, like Israel or
No,
Pakistan?
it's
or was it
something
in
we've
that
had.
ancient
It's
country?
something in our colonial days, my dear boy.
Right.
What does Mexico?
You know.
Oh, South
Yeah,
America.
yeah,
right.
basically,
sorry.
yeah.
Central.
It's on the
Central.
border. Yeah, it's on the border.
Right.
You know.
Yeah,
if you go
yeah, they
to
got
a place,
insects
you
and
might-
snakes and shit there, haven't they? Yeah.
I'm
as long
not
as you
so much
got the-
interested in that kind of danger. I mean, Miles came to me before he went to Snake Island and said, "You want to go to Snake Island? It's this island in Brazil covered in poisonous snakes. No one's allowed there because it's so dangerous." And I just said,
yeah.
I just read back to
seen
him,
that.
"Why?" And he said, "Because it's dangerous." I went,
Hmm.
"That's not really enough. Like, you might die, so let's go." He went anyway.
And he came back.
But when
Yeah,
we-
he climbed to the
when-
top,
when-
went to the bottom.
When we went to Belize, you used to get a broom handle and put your boots upside down so the scorpions didn't go in the boots. So when you put your boots on in the morning, you wouldn't get fucking poisoned.
You'd be shaking them out anyway, wouldn't you?
Fuck that.
I
Yeah,
don't even wanna go anywhere near
more
that.
than that, yeah.
Because
Yeah, you're
I
not
used to
wrong.
like the idea of going to Australia,
That's not a bad place.
but
been
but that whole thing over here, I see a spider. I'm like the manly one in the room. I'll get that spider, love. Don't worry, and throw it in the room. But if I was in Australia, it's like no, I'm running. I'm screaming and jumping on the table
there.
because
You know, some people, they say some people haven't been as far as the front door, but with people like Simon and you people, it's absolutely brilliant, you know, and it's just got to get. The
I
main
went out
guy
once.
says about Wales. Wales is all right, but the only thing in Wales is Sennybridge, where you go over the Brecon Beacons and all that.
This
Can't do nothing
one's
else.
been
Nice down there.
pushed around fucking Thomas Cook more than anybody else, right? And he's looking at me because I haven't been abroad as much as he is. He's like,
No, I was trying to invite you to Poland, and you're like,
I didn't say no, did I?
yeah, you're coming.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hold him to it now. It's public.
Jesus, you fucking
Sorry, I hit the mic.
smashed my ear, you twat.
That's
Doesn't
interesting.
matter,
Oh, yeah,
How
that-
are you anyway, Simon?
All right, I think.
Yeah, it's a bit sad. Bit sad about them two kids got killed in Wales or whatever. I don't know how that one's going to work out. It's a
Well,
bit dodgy. That
have you seen the
I don't know.
pictures of them actually not as kids? Like they were young, but they were not the little boys that they put the picture out. They were like young hoodlums, mate.
Yeah.
They-
Have you seen the one on YouTube about the guys going on the cycles down the in London? The black guys going down on the push bikes on one wheel
No, I haven't
on
seen it. no.
YouTube.
But
is,
try
is
that
this
screen.
like the not Mizzy but that kind of thing? I saw the one. What was the one in
that
Asda?
YouTuber? Well, he's not a YouTuber. He's a TikToker, right?
Is this the Mizzy guy, the one that goes in the
that,
houses?
that was the one that got destroyed by. What's the name of that bloke?
Piers.
Yeah,
I mean, the thing is though, that was I can't stand Piers
I
Morgan
can't. But it was
because he'll go, oh, there's an opportunity for me to
look like
yeah,
I'm a hard
look,
man.
tough, and he's just like, no, you hacked a dead little
Yeah, but
girl's phone.
you don't
Fuck
go into people's houses, do you, and all that when you've got kids and all that.
No, that
thing, all
Mizzy,
No, that
he
Mizzy's
needs
a prick.
he
That
needs
is
to be
right.
made an example of, and not.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the law. I'm talking about. I'm not suggesting people should do this. And allegedly,
but
if
in a
allegedly
film, in a film,
in a film
what would
about
happen?
it, if he was to be made an absolute example of, it might encourage a few other wannabe Mizzies to maybe not do it.
not be a busy.
No.
Allegedly.
It's like well, Simon knows where I
GCHQ.
live. I mean, they've got the derby coming up per couple of weeks' time, and all these animal right protesters are going to be up there. You might get the Just Stop Oil crowd and all the other crowds. I'm thinking, well, hang on, they just give them 2 years in prison. They won't do it again. No mucking about, straight down the line, gone.
Mizzy
Simple as
needs
that.
kicked in the stones. Beautifully put.
Mm.
I fancy.
What was that other video recently
Well-
as well? You on about kids on bikes? There was one where it was a group of lads in like an Asda or a supermarket or something like that, and they were just terrorizing people. Have you seen that one as
Yeah.
well? Like doing the wheelies.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah.
And what I got from that is, why are kids so bloody good at wheelies nowadays? When I was a kid, I couldn't do a wheelie. I could like get the front
It's
wheel up
because
for-
our bikes weighed the same as a small family car
Is that
back
what
in
it
the
is?
day.
Because I just see kids wheeling all the way down the road like that. It's nothing. And it's like, how do you do that? Oh, sorry, that was my takeaway.
Search me, you know. I mean, we used to make when we were kids, we used to make a push bikes out of tips, just go down a tip on go-karts and stuff like that, you know.
Different wheels.
I've made,
Stuff
we made a
like
go-kart out of old prams and things like that. That was good fun. Because you don't have brakes, do you?
absolutely.
Is that how do you stop?
No, you
Well,
just put-
you hit
You'll
something.
work it out.
So you don't wear shoes.
Put a
out.
foot down.
When you go across the road at the bottom,
Get your head down.
you might stop rapidly with a car.
Yeah. There are things that may stop you.
Yeah. That's old school. That is. Yeah.
Private.
Mm. But yeah, this phenomena of these young hoodlums
Types.
something
And then
has to
when- and then
happen. There needs to
cool,
be
cool.
like sort of I would allegedly in a
Had a
movie
good kicking.
a vigilante group that goes around and actually takes care of these.
Well, it's like the electric scooters, isn't they? They're going to come unstuck, but they're going to kill someone, or they're just going to go. Someone's just going to go, and these.
How many
stop the
people
fuel
must have
protesters,
died on
Bill.
those anyway?
A fair few, I'd say.
It must be loads. Like I don't know whether they're that's not
They're all
newsworthy, but I mean,
Then you got-
people are
Then you
getting pissed, and I've seen 3 lads on one, you know, falling off, going around. I thought it was hilarious, but
Why would you nick a bus?
Yeah, but I mean, as Simon's a truck driver, I'm an ex-truck driver, and you're thinking, well, was it worth it? 1.5 meters, yeah, and I go down the road, I go up where we are, go back down. You're thinking, well, one day you're going to cup it, and up where we are at Leverett, the guy went up the hill, went clonk,
Do you know,
come back down.
Callum
and that
showed
was
me. Callum showed me footage of this guy that's nicked this bus. When I was in prison for a very short while, there was a guy in there that used to steal ash carts, dustbin lorries. That was his thing. And he'd
That's
nick
a
it
different
and
one.
get
I'll-
caught and go
I'll
to
have to
prison
try
again,
that.
where he was quite
I'll
happy.
have to try that.
when he had it,
Oh, he just drive
That's
around and
good,
empty
drive
people's bins. He went wide up, right?
he just wanted to be a bin man.
I think he did. Yeah,
They should have given him a job.
yeah. He looked like
Yeah.
he should have won a Rule 43. But
So-
that's another story.
It's just 2 girls I went to school with.
Right, and this
a
is
year
them.
older than me.
You went to school with them.
Yeah.
And then
I was a great school. Anyway, so they stole the bus and they just crash it at the end of it into a bunch of new
And
builds.
then they upload the video.
Yeah.
Because they're not worried
That's
about
dumb
the
as
repercussions.
that is dumb as fuck, isn't it?
I just remember
Oh,
it was
yeah,
back when the idea of filming your crimes and uploading them was novel, and now Mizzy just does it on the regular.
He's
But
a pillar.
it is such a weird thing. It's like
I mean,
Rustling
get it,
yourself
but
up.
Yeah.
Simon's talking about that. When I was in the mob, we had a Remy guy. He wanted to get out on mental health
Goes on
issues.
bus.
So he went out. He's a fitter. Went out. Colonel's coming round. We were dog sections all buggered off, like, you know. And he's gone out. And he goes, any more inspections? Yeah, there's a major Land Rover in the next room, sir. This guy's gone in. Took him about 12 weeks, and he actually did it. He actually got out in the end. He actually built a Land Rover engine in a spare room in a bunk.
I'd heard about a
Got
bunch
away
of
with it.
Remy lads getting
That's
pissed
the
up. Right?
funniest one I've ever seen yet.
They stripped a Land Rover down. They built it up on the 2nd floor. Anyway, the officer.
Yeah.
The idea was
They
they were going to
built
build
the
it.
engine.
No, they built the Land Rover. They
Oh, they stripped it
because
into
there was a
bits,
massive group of them,
carried it.
chassis, the whole lot, and they assembled it back up there. And the idea was they were going to assemble it and fuck off. Thought it was going to be funny. It got caught halfway through, right? And he said, if this lot ain't stripped back down and put back together where it should be by the morning, you lot are for it. So they didn't get any rest at all. And they put it back together. Can you
Fair play,
imagine?
though.
Yeah,
They got good at assembling
you
Land
get that.
Rovers.
I mean, you get people that forklift trucks. There used to be they were diesel heisters. They used to get the Lawrence and Bagnall. And, if you've ever you've worked on the rail, Simon, so you know what I'm talking about.
Mm.
You just get a VDA, which is the ammunition trains, and they get a bridge plate. But when you go down one side of an engine in a yard, you start from the back of the engine, you know, where it ends, and you go up to the front of the engine. But we start at the engine and we work back down. The guy didn't do the plate, the other side of the sliding doors. Guys put a pallet of ammo on, and this pallet and this ride-on are hanging over the side of this fucking thing. And I was sitting there going, well, help. It's just literally, we just couldn't stop laughing because we forgot to close the door up.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it falls out. Yeah, Mike.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to get on to a few more callers and then we'll see how it
Take care,
goes.
Si.
All right.
Bye, boys.
No worries. You
Cheers,
take
mate.
it steady.
See you soon.
How long we
Take
go?
care, mate. Bye.
I have no idea.
Bye, mate.
Well, do you want to go back down the
I
pub
just thought
now?
we were going to wrap it up and go to the pub.
We can if you like.
What do you think, chat?
What?
Or would you like to hear
They're all
more?
saying, "Yeah, sod off down."
I'll have to chat if they want to hear it, or if they want to see us fuck off down the pub, or they want us to stay on. One, if he wants to stay on, or two, if he wants to fuck off. Yeah, it's quite fair. It's fair, isn't it?
Yeah, if you put that in a referendum, no one would complain about the wording at all.
There's another call.
Good evening, the Savoy Grill.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi there.
Right, you've got us playing in the background. You need to pause that, buddy.
Yeah, I'm trying to pause it actually. Here we go. Yeah, pause it now.
They are.
Just listening to the show and just listening the other weeks and that, but couldn't get through. And you're just talking about things in general, and that I just a little while back. I don't know if you saw Bear Grylls has changed his opinion now. He used to be a vegan, and now he's come out and he's saying that he's a meat eater.
He's a fucking vegan. I never knew that.
I've heard that, but I mean, I've also watched him purify a turtle inside its shell and drink it. That's not very vegan, is it?
What?
Well,
Like,
no, it
he
isn't.
stuck a knife in the.
I
and he
didn't know about
drank
this
it.
turtle or anything. I just saw. I only just saw the article
yeah.
where it said something about he used to be a vegan and now he's not a vegan and he's a meat eater.
So he's seen the light and he's realised that to be a proper big boy, you need to have some meat. You need protein, don't you?
But the thing about that is, I was just basically saying, don't trust an expert. He's supposed to be an expert, and he was telling everybody, it was healthy to be a vegan.
Well, it was the experts that told us to take the facts, wasn't it?
He's preaching that for
On
years.
YouTube.
Yeah, and now he turned around and says it's all total nonsense, that he was totally wrong.
I
So
think
why did he say he
some
said it then?
vegans can be healthy if they do it properly, but most of them just eat
I haven't met any yet.
all the shit processed vegan food, which is pretend meat. What's the point? It's not good for you.
Yeah, they're telling you need to have a beer.
One of my little points of making. Also, the other week you
Drop
said
a line.
about Vietnam. The Americans were in Vietnam when Kennedy was alive.
Yeah, they were
They
called
just had
allegedly
experts there.
advisors, but they were mercenaries.
Yeah, advisors. They were there with advisors, but not with the massive troops.
Were these the
that
advisors that
came.
were bringing in large shipments of fucking drugs?
I
And
don't know
also
about the
doing
drugs.
crop burning and destabilization and other things. Like they
They
did in Cuba.
basically got involved. They basically got involved with a French colonial war, because the French were trying to hang on to what they called Indochina.
Yeah, Indochina. Yeah.
They couldn't even make up their minds if they were Chinese or Indians that they were basically in charge of. So they just called them, oh, this is French Indochina, and. But it was a bloody sad thing. The Americans shouldn't have been there in the first place. Too many killed for no reason at all.
Well,
That
there was a
war-
reason. They make a shitload of money
Yeah.
from selling helicopters.
Yeah,
and
the war
stuff.
could have been dealt with, but you had Bell Helicopter, English Electric, and numerous other globalists that were making huge sums of money selling the war machine.
Because
Go on.
I'm of that age, the one thing I will praise Harold Wilson for, he never sent any British troops to Vietnam.
Well, I have to say, I think he probably saw through it, but wasn't he a Labour?
Yeah.
He was the Labour Prime
He-
Minister.
And he was a
Labour
working
Prime
man
Minister,
originally,
but
wasn't he?
cost-
He was Welsh, I think.
Brian Wilson.
Was
Not
he
sure.
Welsh?
Brian Wilson was in the
Welsh,
Beatles, wasn't he?
No, hang on.
Not the Beatles, the Beach Boys.
Harold
No,
Wilson.
Harold Wilson was,
Welsh,
yeah,
I
he
think.
was, I thought he was Northern.
I think he was Welsh.
And
On the Crown, he
who
was on
do
there.
you remember when he did that speech where he really pissed off the Irish? And who do these people go to when they need something?
Oh.
They're all sponges, right? Ah, fuck me. That sent the IRA and all its supporters right off. But
Only thing I know about him is he loved his HP sauce.
oh,
There you go.
Brown.
Called it Wilson's gravy. They called it.
did it? Had it on everything.
He had it on everything. Yeah.
Oh, right.
You were.
Yeah,
I love
Beatles.
HP, but put it on everything is just
No.
sacrilege.
But yeah, wasn't on the Vietnam War. What's Jim Morrison's old? This is true, isn't it? Jim Morrison, the singer from the Doors, his dad was the captain of, I don't know the name of the ship that had the false flag or the non.
Oh right, that was
The
that was the
non-attack,
ship that allegedly was spying but wasn't spying.
And then they said it was attacked.
was that the Bear Tonkin?
Yeah, Bay of Tolkien, yeah. And I think it was actually the captain of the ship was Jim Morrison's old
But
man.
that was their
from the
excuse
Doors.
then to go into Laos because they weren't actually at war with Laos, but they wanted to go in and bomb that because the supplies for the Vietnamese or whatever the fuck, I don't remember what they're called cunts. Anyway, the ones that were coming down the Ho Chi Minh Trail, right? They were getting their supplies.
Viet Cong, wasn't it? No, is that
Well, it's no need to be like that, is it? Right. But yeah, them. So they were getting their supplies through Laos.
Right. Yeah, it's all messed up. It's all about making money, mate. I mean, every single war ever has been about making money for some people.
Wasn't it Nixon at the time that was in charge? That Nixon said we won't go into there, so they needed to create a circumstance where he would say it'd be all right. It was either Nixon or the one that killed Kennedy. Oh, I did say that. LBJ.
LBJ. Dirty dog he was. Apparently, he shagged a lot more women than Kennedy did. And he was very proud.
There was all the ones who were against the war. The chant was, "Hey, LBJ, how many kids have you killed today? Hey.
Fucking hey. You can't beat a good catchy tune like that.
Do you know what I heard about him as well? Apparently, he used to give interviews while he was taking a crap. He would let reporters, they come in and he was kind of that, like,
arrogant.
That alpha, that there. Yeah, this is how comfortable I am. I will give you an interview, but you got to watch me.
That term gets abused, doesn't it?
Huh?
Is that alpha?
I mean, I think that is.
I think it's arrogance.
That is just.
He wanted to demean them,
dominating you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just kind of gross.
It's absolutely gross. But
did he put it in a pint glass?
I wouldn't feel dominated if I was the one doing the interview. I'd just be like, what a weirdo that guy is.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, but you'd be also a bit terrified.
Hey, isn't it interesting? He only did one term because they were going to call him out to be anti-Semitic because he wasn't on board with what's it called? Or something to do with Israel anyway.
6-Day War or something.
Well, I don't think he was on board with any of that. Yeah, and they wanted to call him out to be anti-Semitic. But once he didn't get, because all presidents have had funding from Israel through various ways, and he was pissing them off, and he wasn't getting his funding, and I think they were going to come out with some dirt, and that's why he said, "I will not ask, nor will I stand for your president."
Do you remember Donald Trump when he went to that Jewish donors
dinner?
No. He turned up to a Jewish donor dinner when he was a candidate, not president yet, and he wasn't winning them over. And they started booing him, and he just went, "Whatever, I don't need your money anyway. I've got my own."
that's why I like to go. Yeah. They don't know what to do with him, do they? They've got no idea.
Well, they bought every other cunt, haven't they? Yeah. How many Jews do you think are in the? It's a question.
How many Jews do you fit in a mini?
No.
So if you had 10 ovens and needs to make 6 million cookies,
you fuck off, right? No, but ask how many.
I mean, that is the way to just nuke this channel today, isn't it?
Yeah, you just did, right? Ask how many are in the Senate.
I'm not a Holocaust denier, by the way. I just find the memes funny.
Ask how many are in the Senate. I'm glad you only had one beer. Could have been worse.
Why do you think I stopped drinking?
I'm going to go and grab a beer. Is that all right?
While we're still on air?
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah,
Callum, would you like me to bring you one?
No.
I think it's best you don't.
I do.
On a totally different
how many pubs have you kicked out of 110?
On a totally different topic, the French have got an island in the Indian Ocean. I think it's Malite, it's pronounced, and they say there's too many migrants going there, so they destroyed this migrant camp, and that they quickly destroyed this migrant camp and put tons of people out of their homes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you think, well, if they can do that with an island that they've got where they probably shouldn't be in the first place, left over from their colonial days in the Indian Ocean, why can't they do that in Calais, where there's camps that come across here to Britain?
Well, that leads us on to your video that's not out yet about the migrants, and they had to move them from the camp to somewhere else because of reasons. What was that about?
So in northern Serbia, they border Hungary. It's a great route to break into Europe. So loads of migrants. They're not refugees.
What do we call them?
New Europeans turned up. The Serbians called them New Europeans to mock us, because you may remember there was an EU advert that was like, the New Europeans are coming to Europe, trying to advertise that they're going to replace us, which you can't say, which is why they said it in an advert.
They are trying to replace us.
Well, the EU
Look at
said,
Ireland.
Well, the EU said they were the new Europeans, which was
we're the old ones, but let's get rid of it.
That was their framing. It's not.
Well, no, so if you've got an old car, you get rid of that and keep the new one.
Well, I mean, you could take that approach. But that's what they said. Anyway, so the Serbians mock us by saying that they're all new Europeans, and they're right at the border town because that's the point at which you cross. And so the government decided they'd shove them all in this little camp in Subotica, which is the border town. And so we went and visited, overcrowded, conditions seemed fine, even with the overcrowding. Like, what are you expecting? They have tents, blah, blah, blah. So we interviewed them. None of them were interested in our cultures or futures or our countries. They were interested in money because we have money. They're not in danger in Serbia, but because people in the town, Serbs, didn't like having new Europeans everywhere, they complained enough.
Racist.
They don't care.
Bigots.
No, the thing about the Serbs is they're the least racist people on earth. They have no care
of
for what
the
race you are.
demographics that were around.
Yeah, they don't care what race they are. They care if you're Serbian or not. And if you're not, you're scum.
Fair.
So it's simple system.
Unless you're a holidaymaker that spends money. Am I right?
I don't think that's that much tourism. I'm exaggerating,
Really?
but the Serbs are a
Do you
proud
know
people.
You can imagine Thomas Cook go here quietly. How do you sell a holiday with Serbia anyway?
So
I bet there's some Geordies ago.
This bridge has been rebuilt. It's
No, but
beautiful now.
Serbs are great for that reason. But they complained about this migrant camp enough that
Don't
the
go over
government
that bridge.
has basically just kicked them out of the migrant camp. But of course, there's nowhere for them to go. So they've all just buggered off into the woods with their handlers. You know,
So they're like fucking
gangs.
Robin Hood now, are they?
Yeah, literally. Except that they're all just a bunch of chancers trying to break into Hungary,
They're
who has
only
a
good in
huge
tights.
wall, a big, beautiful wall,
Walls
covered in
work.
barbed wire, razor wire,
lovely.
Is
and is
Hungary-
also
is
manned by men with AKs
See,
24/7.
Is Hungary
how
the,
you protect the
the,
border.
the Catholic country that said we need to make you breed more? We'll give you some financial incentive.
Yeah.
There's a reason the right wing loves them.
Orban is leading the way.
But
He's,
right wing works, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's
over there.
he's smashing it.
I-
And he's good
Over
because
there.
they're attacking him
They're having the problems
mercilessly.
we have. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, yeah, to be right wing's a crime.
Government.
But I was going to say the Lotus Eaters are non-political in that respect. They come at it from all angles, don't they? They try to play devil's advocate on all sides of the conversation. So they'll say it about this side, that side, that side.
I don't know. It depends on the person that's speaking.
Right. Okay. So when it's you, Zig Kyle.
I'm not a socialist.
No, clearly not. Yeah. What was it? Oh, Hitler was right wing. Do you actually know your politics? I don't think so.
Well, he's literally not. He's
No,
a race socialist.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, when I talk to Mussolini, he's closer to them up. But anyway, yeah.
what's funny about that is just how non-racist Mussolini is.
Yeah.
You ever heard him talk about race?
No.
He doesn't think it's real. So he was actually really weirded out. Like the Hitler's got this obsession with race, and he
So
was just
when-
like, it doesn't
But
exist.
we could do it pairing up with him because he's got.
Because when they were
something
trying to bomb the crap out of Ethiopia, he didn't think they were a bit different to us.
He thought they were different.
Didn't
but he
see the
didn't think-
point.
He didn't think the racial difference mattered at all.
Right.
Like it just wasn't really.
He
a
was at
thing.
equal opportunities.
I would.
It was
say-
more about
Tyrant.
civilization
Right.
and the fact that they were completely backwards in that regard.
Mm.
Or, he could see the different skin colors, obviously, but he didn't have this view that Hitler did that there's racial superiority
Oh yeah.
and we're at the top of
Okay.
it and therefore we need purity.
Oh, they were obsessed by the shape of a skull
Yeah.
and all that, weren't they?
I think this is
Yeah.
why there were like prominent Jews in the fascist party in Italy right up until like the 40s.
I wonder how Hitler enjoyed that.
It was a bit awkward, yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine the meeting?
I mean, you can imagine you're Mussolini. I mean, not a very sane guy, but you make Mussolini look like the reasonable guy in the room. Is just, oh, for God's sake, he just talks about Jews.
Look, you've just made a bloke that marches around the place at 500 mile an hour and pushes stupid faces look good.
Yeah.
How did you do that? And incidentally, since your guests are eating the front of the cow, is Hitler having the back? Oh no, he doesn't like cows.
But anyway,
He was a vegan.
go if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, go and check out Tick's videos on Hitler and fascism and Oswald Mosley as well. So it's TIK History is his
Right.
channel.
There
Does
you
a
go.
fantastic
Look
job.
at that
of laying out
one.
the
That's a
ideology.
compliment.
Oh, there we are. That's nice.
Oh, and
I can't. Sorry, mate. I forgot you was on the bloody phone. We do this all the time.
That's okay, but just changing the subject again, as I seem to be doing tonight.
No, crack on.
What you was asking the guy last week about, would they get rid of you, and that you were on about would they get rid of you?
What were we
And,
saying? Who would get rid of me?
The establishment.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. What you mean?
And
If
this
things
guy
got
wouldn't
worse?
answer the question. I would say give somebody the American thing, 3 strikes and you're out. If you don't answer the question under 3 strikes, you can say, well,
I was
had enough of
enjoying
that,
dragging it out of him.
avoiding the question. But to give you the answer to the question is all you have to do is look at what they did to Stephen Yaxley Lennon.
Oh, that chap.
What you mean,
So
Tommy
he must-
Robinson?
he
They
must
don't.
not
They
be
won't
mentioned.
particularly kill you, but they will get rid of you.
It's character
discredit
assassination
you,
now, isn't it? That's the way they do it.
He's released a new documentary.
attack your family,
It's near, like,
all
Yeah.
sorts of
You've been
dirty.
doing
Because
all
they
day.
didn't want to turn him into a martyr, did they? They had plenty of
You do.
opportunities to kill
that's
him.
it. They don't want him. They don't want him to be a
Not on this one,
martyr.
no.
They just want him to be.
And they did a very
little.
good job of the character assassination, because there's very few people, unless they've really looked into it, that don't think he's evil. You know, like so many people just think he is the worst, and you can't change their mind. You can't just say, "Look, it's all lies." What's happening there?
Yeah, you can't get round them, and that because as soon as you mention his name, it's so you can't really get a conversation going if you try about it with too many people. Probably most of the people on the channel tonight would agree with what we're saying about him and see him as a hero.
Yeah,
he's.
Would you say he's the most lied about person in this country?
We're not the majority, unfortunately.
No, that's what I'm saying. Do you think he's the most lied about person in this country?
He must be near the top.
So.
I can't think of anybody who's lied about more than him, to be quite honest. But there may be somebody. They seem to be making up. Suella Braverman is the one who they're trying to make lies about at the moment. There was a thing where I heard this morning that Richard Littlejohn has said basically about there's a coup in this country to get rid of the government. Basically, he was more or less saying, from what I understand, that the civil servant are pushing the government out, and he quoted an old Bonzo Doodog band thing. It doesn't matter who you vote for, the government always gets in.
Well, if actually voting made a difference, we would be given the choice.
They're always in charge. They don't want.
Anyway, we're going to wrap this up.
Johnson.
We're going to wrap this up.
Sorry?
Go back to the pub, have a low ball to drink, and there is every chance we'll come back drunk later and crack it back open.
That might be
okay. It's time for me to go now. I've been running on too long.
No worries. Well, we're going to wind up the stream, but
now.
there's every chance that we might come back later on, smash right up. Just so you know.
Okay.
But
bye.
because he doesn't get out very often, obviously, and he likes our pub, so we're going to go back there as he is the guest. So and Matt lives here anyway. So yes, we're going to fuck off, finish up the stream, go to the pub, have a few beers, come back. What could go wrong?
Anyway, thank you so much.
Cheers, mate. He's gone.
I was going to say goodbye, but I didn't get round to it. Fucking, I'm such a cracking host.
Well, I'm going to let you wrap up the stream then.
Yes, so I'm wrapping up the stream. Anyway, thanks.
Thank you.
Pleasure for having me.
Absolute pleasure and an honor. Piss streaming, very wise. I knew that, right? Anyway, anyway, there it is. Right. So who wants? It doesn't matter, right? We might do one later, we might not. It really depends how drunk we get, but there's going to be a few shots. Right. I'm off. I will see you all in a bit.